Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty.
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, welcome to a special edition of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I'm your host, Manager Marty. So glad to be here this evening. Check this out. When is the last time you ever seen me drop and publish 3 videos in one day and do a live all in the same day? 3 videos and a live. When have you ever seen me do that? Never. First time today that I've done that. Don't know when I'll ever be able to do all 4 of those again. Probably not going to do that very often. But I've been in a mood to talk about boxing for a long time. Not just today. Like when I say a long time, I mean for a while. And I have to admit this. This is a pop-up live, first of all. No one knows that I'm here. I literally just published this live like 15 minutes ago. So if anybody's here, I want to say shout out to y'all. Double salute to y'all. Live and live in color. I really appreciate y'all donating your time tonight. I promise you. I had no plans on going live today, but I'm going live anyway. Now I have to admit this. And when I say this, I want to make sure that we're all clear. I am not saying this to gain any sympathy from anyone. I'm just telling you what's on my heart. We family. And I'm just going to tell you, I've been disappointed. I've been disappointed for some time. I have. I'm going to be honest with y'all. You know how I am. You all know me at this point. I keep it real with y'all. I've never lied to anyone on YouTube ever in life. In the past, 3 years I've been on YouTube now. I'm a little disappointed because I say it all the time, but I've been feeling it lately. Like saying it live or saying it in a video is one thing, but to actually feel it is another thing. Like my channel has been shadow banned for a long time. And I feel it. And when I say feel it, I mean it can be discouraging, right? It can be very discouraging. And I've been working very hard to not allow that fact to discourage me, right? And I'm talking about seeing my views go from thousands to dropping down to the low hundreds. That's discouraging. And it's not because my content doesn't have quality, doesn't mean that people don't support, doesn't mean that people don't love what I do and appreciate what I do, right? But I know without a shadow of a doubt, for the past year and a half, my channel has been shadow banned. And it can be very discouraging to the point where it's like I don't want to be shadow banned, right? It's hard to put a lot of effort into what we do on YouTube, and the effort is not matching the reward. So if you think I've been gone, my schedule is flexible, but I have a lot of great positive things that's going on in my life, right? Outside of YouTube, outside of boxing, this is not my primary. Just wanted to be clear on that. This is not my primary. And I respect everybody, whether they agree with me or not, whether they like me or not. I respect everybody, everyone who is a content creator, whether your quality is good or not, whether your content is good or not. Just the fact that you decided to put the effort in. Because doing this is hard work, right? So, in that, I wanted to make sure I remind people that even though I know and feel that it's shadow banned, I'm not going to let that discourage me, nor am I going to allow it to disappoint me any further. Yeah. Yeah. And here's the great thing about it all. This is my introduction, y'all, so don't worry about it. I'm not going to be too long-winded, but I need y'all to hear me for a minute. No matter how many videos that I do, this is the encouraging part of it all. No matter how many years that I've been here on YouTube, no matter how many views I get or do not get, I have the loudest voice in the sport of boxing here on YouTube, bar none. What do I mean by that? Basically, I have more influence than a lot of people that are content creators in the boxing community that have been here way longer than me. I'm not saying that to toot my own horn. I'm saying that to let you all know that's an encouraging element to why I continue to do what I do and be in my lane and do it the way I do it, because I'm very unique in what I do. And I'm unique for a reason. And that reason is this: I'm just being who I am. So the support is not unnoticed. For those of you that genuinely support the channel, I appreciate your time. Not just tonight, just overall. We embarking on 3 million views worldwide. In my, regarding my tenure here. So I'm encouraged. So I said all that to say more content. I'm not going to tell you how much, but more content will be produced on a daily basis. Not 7 days a week, but definitely 5 days a week at the minimum. So that's why I'm doing this live tonight. The hustle is on now. I've been a hustler all my life. So it's time to get back on the horse and get the hustle going on when it comes to content. Now, enough with the hugs, handshakes, and Valentine's Day cards. Where y'all want me to start at? Y'all seen the title, right? Okay. Gervonta Davis, legal issues. Devin Haney, next opponent. I might even throw a little bit of that Wilder in Chisora, since that's happening this weekend. Might throw a little bit of that in there. What's up to everybody in the live chat? Salute. I don't allow the viewership to influence how I perform. I don't know if y'all noticed that or not. if you haven't noticed it, just know that part about me. I perform. If the number right now say 17, I'm going to perform like 1,000 people is here. And every live experience you've gotten, that's how I perform when I'm live. Now, in my published videos, I might not be as animated as I am live. And that's done intentionally. Why? Because I believe when you go to a comedy show or a concert live, your experience should be different from you hearing it on the radio. You understand what I'm saying? You hearing it through a social media post, not in front of an audience. So that's why I go above and beyond to give you a live experience when you come here. Live. When you're watching a replay, it is live. It's a live experience. My published content, I'm a little bit more relaxed. I do that intentionally. Everything is on purpose to entertain you all. My voice inflections, my facial expressions, my hand movements, my slogans, that's all a part of who I am. And that's also a part of what makes me unique when I present the content to you. It's entertainment. Yeah. I want to invoke emotion, and I have done that and will continue to do so. So, yeah. Yeah, you get a live experience when you're here. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. So, if anybody want to come up, let's talk some boxing, man. It's late tonight too. You know what that means. I got time. I'm not gonna say we're gonna be here all night. We're definitely not. But I just like to give introductions when I go live. That's done intentionally. Yeah. This is the bread and water part of the show. Then we get to the appetizer and of course the entree. Yeah, that's what we do here. We talk boxing. What's up? Yeah. Gervonta Davis money grab. Devin Haney next opponent. Might throw a little bit of Wilder in there. Deontay Wilder. Might throw a little bit of him in here real quick. Yeah, I wanted to holler at Deontay too. I don't know if I'll do it tonight. We'll see. Where should I start, y'all? Oh, and by the way, let me put this out there too. This is as equally as important. I'm the most entertaining, the most controversial, the most imitated, the most insulted, but the least paid content creator in the boxing community. That's no secret. I mean, we all know that. We all know that. But I appreciate everybody that showed me love, that support, that encourages me. I appreciate it. All of it means a lot to me. It keeps me motivated to keep this thing going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And look, this might not even be for y'all. Me talking out loud and expressing this right here might just be for me. Sometimes you got to encourage yourself. Yeah, and hold yourself accountable. Yeah, this might not even be for y'all. I might just be saying it to encourage myself. You heard? I know that's right. You see what happens. I done set trends all across the YouTube community for the past 3 years I've been here. That's encouraging to see people respond in a positive way from the content. Every time I go somewhere, I have been all over this country since I've been on YouTube. I'm talking about like outside, meaning I'm not behind the scenes managing. I'm talking about like I'm outside and people recognize me from being like on YouTube. Nothing but positive feedback. People show me love everywhere I go, and I really appreciate that. And everybody will tell you they've seen me in certain places where they didn't expect to see me. And I do not treat people like I'm a celebrity. I don't carry myself like a celebrity. I do have a personality like I'm a celebrity all my life, but I don't treat people like that. I'm very humble. I respect others. Until you disrespect me, then it's something else. But other than that, I'm the same Marty on YouTube that I am off of YouTube. So I appreciate all the love, all the support. And I really, really mean that. I do lives and don't get no super chats and still drop Jews on you. I do lives, get no super chats, and still perform as if there's 1,000 people here. People come over here to this platform. They don't be in the chat all the time, but they're watching. Some people take notes. Some people study the notes that they take from the information that I present, information that I present. Some people shout me out, some people don't. What difference does it make? But I will tell you this: no one, whether you agree with me or not, whether you like me or not, no one, whether you're a content creator or not, whether you're a boxing fan casually or hardcore, not one person out of the 3 million views that we almost 3 million anyway, almost 3 million. The 3 million views that we've gotten over here in 3 years, can't not one person, not one, can not one person say that they've encountered my content, whether it be published or live, and didn't learn at least one thing about the sport or the business of boxing. Nobody can say that. So when you come here, it is always going to be bread served to you, education and entertainment. Yeah, don't worry about it, y'all. This ain't even for y'all. It's for me right now. Yeah, yeah. I perform under them lights. I perform, right? Okay. And I'ma always perform. People come over here and freeload. Y'all know that's the truth. Come right over here and freeload. Don't support, don't super chat, don't cash app or nothing. Don't even say hi in the chat or nothing. Just come right over here and be eavesdropping. And then go right on their own platform and repeat what they heard right from me. Yeah, we've seen it. I'm not mad at it. I'm just being observant of it. What I'm saying is I don't allow any of that I'm naming, these things I'm saying, I don't allow any of that to discourage me. I still perform under the lights because I love what I do. I appreciate what I do. I appreciate y'all and your time. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not throwing shots at nobody. I'm just talking because a lot of times I don't get the opportunities to share it in public, share it live. I mean, I might say it here and there in pieces, but not in the introduction. And if you don't want to hear this, I'm cool with you leaving tonight. I'm cool with that too. I'm all right with that. But I just got to get it out. Hey, listen, it is what it is. Y'all know how I am. I speak from the hip. Y'all know that. I don't take nothing personal on YouTube unless it's genuinely personal. Yeah, I don't have no beef with nobody. I'm cool. Yeah, but you know me, I tell it like it is. I don't have no picks. You've never ever heard me once, ever in 3 years. No one can ever say that they ever heard me say this person is my favorite fighter. I'm not influenced by having a favorite fighter. Why? Because I love all the fighters. And everything I say and do is always going to be in the best interest of professional boxers. Everybody that knows me know that, on YouTube and off. So when I speak about boxers, there's no malice in my heart, but we got to call it like it is. All right, now I'm done with it all. What we talking about first? Anybody can just say it in the live chat. If not, I'm just going to go right off. I'm just going to go right off. Devin Haney's next opponent. Here we go. Uh-oh. Hold on. Hold on for 1 second. Double salute to Jab Queen Boxing. Starting the air. Look, Jab Queen always do this. She always plug the air fryer up and start it up. She always do that. And I appreciate you, Jab Queen. Thank you for the super chat. Jab Queen Boxing says, turn the air fryer on. Up, there it is. Thank you, Jab Queen. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Thank you for your contribution and your support. Now that she done plugged the air fryer up and it's time to turn it on. Devin Haney's next opponent. Let's talk about it. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. Okay. For anybody that want to talk boxing tonight, come on up. Here's the thing about Devin Haney. I want to know, who is he fighting next? I have somebody in mind. I have two fighters in mind, me personally. I have two fighters in mind for Devin Haney's next opponent. But he don't want to fight Ryan Garcia. Did y'all see my video from earlier today that I published? Did y'all see that? Did anyone see that? Can somebody in the live chat confirm or deny whether you saw the video I posted earlier today about Devin Haney? Yeah, the last one. Did anyone see that? Yeah, the air fryer about to warm up now. Did anybody? The video I posted earlier about Devin Haney. Did anyone? Can somebody confirm or deny that in the live chat? The last one, earlier today. I guess nobody saw it. Well, when this live go off, please check it out. We'd love to hear your feedback on it, positive and negative. I'm interested. Yeah. Devin Haney don't want to fight Ryan Garcia in the rematch. It's very evident now. I don't know if any of y'all saw that or noticed that or observed that. That's just what that is. Devin Haney does not want to fight Ryan Garcia. He's just not interested. Yes, Jab Queen Boxing. It's about VADA. Yup. I think the title was Devin Haney Get Cooked by VADA President or by the VADA President or something like that. Yeah. They call him Debo Dev. Yeah, I changed his name over here on this channel. Until he proved otherwise, I changed his name over here on this channel. They call him Debo Dev, but I'm gonna go on and call him Duck Sauce Dev. And there's nothing wrong with eating duck sauce on your egg roll from the Chinese store. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. Yeah, Duck Sauce Dev. He don't want to fight Ryan Garcia, y'all. That's just my observation. Now, I don't know if it's a strategy. Maybe it's a strategy. That's possible too. You know, the behavior patterns of the Haneys. Maybe this is just a strategy for him to fight Ryan in a rematch. You know, like in September. That's what Devin is saying. Right? That's what he's saying in the tweet. Yeah, he said it in the tweet the other day. He said it. What was that, yesterday? Yeah, I think it was like yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. He said it in the tweet. He said Ryan Garcia is stalling out. He don't want to take the VADA test until July because Ryan Garcia, I'm saying he don't, not Devin don't. Devin is saying Ryan Garcia don't want to take VADA testing until July because he's cycling with PEDs. Now, you know, if I would have said that, if I would have said that somebody is cycling on and off on PEDs, people would have been requesting that a lawsuit be filed against me. People would be saying, you can't be accusing people of using steroids with no proof. Or what's everybody's favorite word when they come up here? You're insinuating. Isn't that what the last guy said last week when he jumped up here defending Devin Haney? And we wasn't even talking about Devin Haney. Y'all remember that? Y'all know him. He might be here now. I don't know. The guy that I told y'all, he remind me of, I'm going to leave that school bus joke alone because that could be a sensitive topic. Because I used to be a school bus driver. Some of y'all probably didn't know that. A very long time ago. Yeah, that's how I got my CDL. Yeah. And one day I came to work and they said, Marty, we gonna need you to drive bus 665. I'm like, 665? Where that bus at? All the other buses, like them big school buses, all the other buses that I usually drive Some of them have 4 digits on there, and the ones that have 3 digits start with the numbers 2 and 3. But this 6 number. Now, I don't know where y'all parked the 6. Wait, where them little, that right there? The little small tiny ones? Them y'all want me to draw those? Okay, no problem. Yeah, so I figure he remind me of them kids that be, yeah, yeah. I don't want to, I'm not talking bad about them. It's really the guy that came up here last week. Y'all remember him. He probably watching now. I don't know. I'm in the mood tonight. I'm with the grits tonight. He better not click the link. I'm with the grits tonight. Okay. Now, in that, where was I at? Oh, I know where I was at. Devin Haney. There it is. Devin Haney, right? So Devin Haney said that Ryan Garcia is cycling on and off. That's what he said. Nobody never challenged Devin and asked him for no proof. But you know, everybody and their mom will come up here and say, Manager Marty, you're insinuating. You're accusing all of the snack fighters of using performance enhancement drugs. You're accusing them of using these performance enhancement drugs all because they're with the snack program and Victor Conti. That's not right. That's what people are saying. You're insinuating. And all I keep saying is their performances are enhanced. And people still slam me. People still criticize me and insult me. But long and behold, Devin Haney accused Ryan Garcia of cycling on and off with no evidence, and no one asked him how did he know. No one said, Devin, you can't just be saying those things with no proof. You can't put that jacket on Ryan Garcia. But let Manager Marty would have talked about cycling on and off. You see, I'm the one that told y'all when certain fighters' performance looked enhanced. Never been done in the history of YouTube boxing or boxing media in life. And then I'm the one that told y'all, and I have to remind y'all this part because this is crazy to me when I think about it. I'm the one that told y'all right after Brian Norman Jr. knocked out Jin Sasaki. Y'all remember that? Some of y'all in my live chat was here. Y'all remember that? Some of y'all watching me live. Y'all remember that, right? Remember? Y'all remember a half an hour after the fight, I went live when Brian Norman Jr. knocked out Jin Sasaki. As soon as he knocked him out, a half hour later, I went live right here on this platform and told y'all and showed y'all the bumps all over his body. Y'all remember that? And circled it for y'all too. Y'all remember that, right? Told y'all that his performance was enhanced in that fight. You know, when he knocked out Jin Sasaki with one punch, out cold, unconsciously. In fact, media reports claim that the medical personnel confirmed that when Jin Sasaki was being evaluated by medical personnel, he couldn't remember anything for the past 6 weeks. I'm just going by what the reports were. Some of y'all probably wasn't here, but most of y'all was here when I told y'all that I believe, based on my observation, my experience, that Brian Norman Jr.'s performance was enhanced. And long and behold, there was somebody else that believed that. R.I.P. Victor Conti. Because guess what he did? He finessed Brian Norman Jr. to take rigorous VADA testing leading up to the fight with Devin Haney. Hey, don't get mad at me. Brian Norman Jr. came out and told everybody how many times he was tested leading up to the fight with Devin Haney. You know why he was tested all of them many times? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You better know what's going on. You don't know? If you don't know, you better ask somebody. And if you ask somebody and they don't know, let me tell you, Victor Conti believed that Brian Norman Jr.'s performance was enhanced. Now, he may have believed that it was illegal. I don't know. Can't speak for that man. But based on the behavior patterns of what happened subsequently following that fight and leading up to the Devin Haney fight, oh, they kept screaming, Vada, 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 Vada. When Devin Haney fought Jose Ramirez, you didn't hear none of the Haneys or Victor Conti mention anything about Vada. Did you? If you did, let me know, because I didn't hear anything. When Devin Haney was going to fight Regis Prograis, you didn't hear Devin Haney, Bill Haney, or Victor Conti mention anything to Regis Prograis about Vada, 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 Vada. Now, if you heard it, you let me know, because I haven't heard it. I haven't heard them say Vada, 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 Vada. Oh, but Brian Norman Jr., they kept screaming, Vada, 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 the test, Vada, 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 the test. I even told Brian Norman Sr. to his face on someone else's platform. I think that was YSM Sports Media's platform, if I'm not mistaken. I told Brian Norman Sr., I think your son's performance was enhanced against Jin Sasaki. I didn't sneak diss that man. I told him to his face what I thought. Now, you know, he started insulting me after that, but that's not the point. He went on other people's platform, Brian Norman Sr. did, and kept downplaying Snack. Y'all remember that? Man, Snack ain't going to do nothing. That stuff don't work. Snack don't work, and it's not going to work for Devin Haney. That's what Brian Norman Sr. said. My son going to knock him out, and Snack ain't going to help him. I don't care how many times they test us. And then I did a video. You all remember this. I told Brian Norman Sr., don't you underestimate Snack. You better stop talking down to Snack, because it works, Brian Norman Sr. Stop underestimating Snack and Victor Conti and the Haneys, bro. That's going to be your biggest downfall. I go back and look at the videos I posted on that. When this live go off, go fact check me. You're going to see it right here on my channel. You'll see. And then you'll also see videos that I posted telling you all when the Snack program has their resurgence in these fighters. Round 1, round 2, round 3, round 6, round 9, and 10. Nobody else ever broke it down like that, but I did. And guess what happened when Brian Norman Jr. got in that ring with Devin Haney? He got knocked down. Can somebody in the live chat tell me what round was it? Come on, hurry up. We got a show to do, y'all. This is live entertainment when you come here. Let's air fry. Can someone tell me in the live chat what round was it that Brian Norman Jr. got knocked down and hurt by Devin Haney? Can someone tell me? If you're watching a replay of this live, I welcome you. You can also participate in this trivia contest. What you say? Oh, everybody's telling me in the live chat. Salute. I see you, Miller Time. WMS, my guy. What's up? Eugene, I see you. Dodge J, what up? All things, I see you. A Smooth Criminal, give me 1 second. I'm going to read your super chat. Let me finish this point right here. I'm going to double park the school bus in 1 second. That's right, round 2. You know, isn't that the same round that Terrence Crawford knocked down Errol Spence in? Round 2. Told you. I tried to tell the Normans. They didn't believe. Most of my audience believed. The Roller Tape family believed me. They didn't. I tried to warn them. They kept going there talking about how much they're going to knock Devin out. They just going to run through Devin Haney. Okay. Keep playing with the snack program if you want. You see how Bam Bam Rodriguez looked with it. You see how Devin Haney looked with it. You see how Terrence Crawford went look in it. You see how Caleb Plant look in it. Y'all want me to continue? All right, I am going to continue. You see how Clarissa Shields look in it. Some of y'all done forgot Clarissa over there. Some people really forgot about that. I'm still waiting for Clarissa to answer my question about that. She talked to everybody else. Can't wait for her to answer that one. Because I really want to know. Seriously. I want to know. What did she call him for? Got Pat Pooch wearing snack shirts. Good guy from Zion. Yay. Remember when Clarissa Shields fought that other girl a couple fights ago when she knocked her? She knocked her down and then TKO'd her in the same round. What round was that again? Second round. Told y'all. You better believe, Manager Marty, when I tell you the snack program worked. You ain't going to find it nowhere else. That's why I'm glad you're here. And the Normans didn't believe. And Brian Norman Jr. got dominated in that fight by Devin Haney. Now, speaking of Devin Haney, I want to know who his next opponent going to be. Because he don't want to fight Ryan Garcia in the rematch. Because he's going to keep moving the goalposts every time Ryan Garcia's name come up. We figured that out already. It's no secret. It's really no secret. Let me get this super chat from my guy. Double salute to my guy, Smooth Criminal. Thank you for warming up the air fryer, Smooth. Thank you for your support and contribution. Smooth Criminal says, sidebar, I'm in Philly soon. What's a good hotel downtown? Ooh, listen, they got a lot of good hotels downtown. They got a lot of good hotels downtown. I'll just put it to you like this. It depends on your budget. It depends on your budget, man. Because when you go downtown in Philly, the prices, are going to be higher than they would if you, let's say, go on, let's just say a different location, a different part of the city. For example, if you go to the airport and you book a hotel room at the airport, the price will be different compared to the airport in downtown in Philly. So it depends on your budget, for real. It depends on how much you really want to spend, how many days you want to be there, the amenities that you really want. We got some very high price hotels in Philly downtown. Then you got some hotels literally downtown that have some very reasonable prices, like very reasonable. And it's comfortable, it's clean, it's literally in the heart of downtown Philly. Oh, okay. He said, yeah, I see you. He said he got them taxes back. He good. Okay. Sound like you want to go to the Four Seasons, brother. Hey, Four Seasons, brother. Yeah, Four Seasons. Yeah, Four Seasons, man. Yeah, you can go to the Four Seasons. Yes, sir. You can go to the Bellevue. See, y'all ain't ready for the Bellevue. Some of y'all don't know nothing about Philly. Yeah. That's you gonna pay a grip off there. But listen, the amenities that they have there, woo. Yes, sir. Send me an email, Smooth. I'll send you some really good hotels with some really good, comfortable amenities. And I'm not just talking about a gym. That's common. That's very common as far as Philly. No, I'm talking about masseuses and everything on deck. Nice little spa. Oh yeah, if you want the whole works, yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt. Send me an email. I got you. And also it depends on the experience that you want to have if you have a significant other. So that plays a role in it as well. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Yeah. Send me an email, Smooth. I got you. But Devin Haney don't want to fight Ryan Garcia. I mean, that's just what that is, y'all. And I don't like that for Devin. I don't. I actually want to see Devin Haney compete against Ryan Garcia in a rematch. Like I would rather see him fight Ryan in a rematch than anyone else. No disrespect to Rolly and his representation sending Devin an offer and everything, but I would rather see the rematch between Devin and Ryan. Me personally. Oh, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But he had an opportunity to fight Rolly. And it's like Dev got to understand something, right? And this is not even trying to throw a shot at Bill Haney, but from one manager to another manager, I have to say this to Bill Haney. At some point, you have to take responsibility. If you are an actual manager and you're really managing a fighter's career, there's a certain way that you have to structure your game plan. There's a certain approach that you must take. There's a certain it's a certain adjustment that you have to make according to circumstances. And from what I know about this business, from a managerial perspective, I don't see the play being in Devin's favor in the last 5, 6 years. No, seriously, he did unify at 135. He did move up to 140. He did capture a world title there. He did move up to 147 and he captured a world title there. So I respect all of that. And Devin deserves a lot of credit for that. No question about it. But the money that Devin Haney could have made, the star power that Devin Haney could have developed, he's not on the level, in my perspective. Devin Haney is not on the level of superstardom that he should be on based on the relationships that his dad built in this business. I told you all in a video that I published earlier today, me and Dion, right? We were talking about Clarissa Shields, and I specifically said that the sport of boxing, right? And I'm not talking about just the sport of just competing inside the boxing ring. I'm talking about the business aspect of the sport of boxing is a relationship building based business. Okay. In other words, is Bill Haney has had opportunities to be around the Mayweathers early on in Devin's career in those preliminary stages. He was paying for Mayweather Sr. to train his son. It don't get any better than that. Other relationships that they've developed in this business. The Mayweathers start there. So that tells me something, right? I thought about this. You probably never heard this perspective anywhere else. Devin Haney probably should be where Tank Davis is now. Adrian Broner probably should have been where Tank Davis is now. You understand my point? Think about it. Before Tank Davis was with Mayweather Promotions, Devin Haney was there first. He was being trained. He was around the Mayweathers. They lived in Vegas. The gym is in Vegas. It don't get any better than that. It don't get no more convenient than having the gym in the same city where you live. This type of gym of all gyms in the country. With the wealth of knowledge and experience that the Mayweathers have in the business and in the sport. It don't get no better than that. All of the trainers that Bill Haney hired along the way. It don't get no better than that. But yet Devin Haney is not a superstar in this sport. That's not me hating on Devin. I'm not hating on Dev, but we got to keep it real. Somebody challenged me in my comments section and told me that Deontay Wilder wasn't a superstar over no Devin Haney. I didn't even say anything back and forth because that person may have limited knowledge on the business side of the sport. So I didn't take that personal. But you can place Deontay Wilder in Los Angeles and do good numbers. Live ticket, meaning gate, right? Ancillary rights. Some of y'all don't know what that means, but don't worry about it. I'll explain it another time. Closed circuit rights. It's big money we talking about here. Pay-per-view. Deontay Wilder. You can take Deontay Wilder, put him in Vegas. You can take Deontay Wilder, put him in New York at the Barclays Center. I just named 3 different locations on 2 different coasts. We have yet to see Devin Haney do that. The last time we saw Devin Haney in New York, what was he doing? Fighting who? In what order on that card was he fighting in? Okay, then. The undercard. That's the point that I'm making. And his dad lived in New York. That's the point that I'm making. That's not hating. I'm just trying to help you understand the concept of the business of boxing. Can we see how Devin Haney performed down south? Can you put him in Atlanta, Georgia? I'm just asking. Can you? Can you put him in AT&T Stadium? Can you take him to San Antonio, Texas? I'm just asking. Can you put him in Philadelphia? Just using that as a random, just a random place on the East Coast. Can you put Tank Davis in an arena in Atlanta, Georgia? Can you put Tank Davis in an arena in Las Vegas? Can you put Tank Davis in an arena in Los Angeles? Can you put Tank Davis in an arena in Brooklyn, New York? I'm just asking. If the answer is yes, that means he is a superstar and he's a bigger star than Devin. If the answer is yes about Deontay Wilder, that means he's a superstar and he's a bigger star than Devin. That's not a knock on Devin. But at some point, get your game together. You mean to tell me y'all waiting for offers? As a boxing manager, y'all waiting for, it's the same thing I said about Adrian Clark when I was holding him accountable as far as Brian Norman Jr. Some of y'all was here. Y'all remember that when I did that live? Remember when I did that live? When Adrian Clark, the manager of Brian Norman Jr. and Brian Norman Sr., they were in a live interview. I don't even remember who platform they was on. I don't mean to be disingenuous. I really don't remember. It was somebody's platform. Or they was an interview. I don't know if it was Fight Hype. They was on an interview, the manager, and I was listening to the words that the manager was saying of how they conducted themselves in the negotiations or leading up to the negotiations, not once, but twice with Eddie Hearn, who was representing Boots through Matchroom. And I said, oh no, they're not going to throw water on a fire that they didn't start, because that don't make no sense. Because the water they're trying to throw on the fire is contaminated. Let me give the people real knowledge of the business. Once again, they waited for offers, having a B-side mentality. And I'm not talking bad about the Normans, because what I just said, I said to Brian Norman Sr. on YSM Sports Media's platform the first time I encountered Senior. And I told him that. Y'all have a B-side mentality. Your son is a world champion. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about? It's a certain way that you have to approach the business when you have someone that has a world title attached to them. And it's the same thing I'm saying about Devin Haney. Is no different. There's no way y'all waiting around for Turkey. Think about what I'm saying, y'all. Don't get mad at us. Devin Haney said in the tweet, and don't make me pull it up and if you don't believe me. He said it in the tweet. I posted it earlier on a video that I did earlier about Devin. He posted a tweet and said, Turkey, let's get it done. He's calling out Turkey to get it done for Ryan Garcia to get VADA testing. Why are you calling Turkey? I know why he's calling Turkey, because Turkey financed his last two fights. And guess what? If Turkey Al-Ashiki believed that he would profit off of Devin Haney, he would have made him the main event in his last two fights that he fought on Turkey's cards. But Turkey ain't no fool. It's not a knock on Devin, but we got to keep it real. Even Turkey had Devin Haney on the undercard of his last two fights. And the last one was for a world title. And the first one was on the undercard of Rolly Romero and Ryan Garcia. So how can you say, Devin, that they're delusional? You just fought on Ryan's undercard last year. You mean to tell me Ryan Garcia has to take a back seat and be the B-side? For what? He wasn't the B-side in the first fight with Devin, and Devin was the world champion. Somebody stop me when I'm lying. Bill Haney confirmed that the reports were true, that Devin Haney took a 46% split. He took a pay cut to fight Ryan Garcia, and he was the world champion, and Ryan Garcia was not. Somebody stop me when I'm lying. If that's not bad business, I don't know what is. If I was managing Bill Haney, I am managing Bill Haney. If I was managing Devin Haney and my client had the world title and Ryan has nothing, why do we have to acquiesce to Ryan Garcia? Oh, I know the answer. Because they're not looking at just the world title. They, meaning the men with the suits and boots on. They looking at how can we recoup on our initial investment and make a profit afterwards. Ryan Garcia is a bigger draw than Devin Haney. That is not a knock on Devin, nor is it a secret. We all know that's the truth. So now that we established that, Ryan Garcia is not supposed to come back to the negotiation table and say, okay, I've made more money than you by taking a bigger split in our first fight together. I have a huge following, a bigger live gate history. I have a bigger fan base than you. I'm representing the American community. All the girls like me. I'm acting stupid and crazy and deranged. So I'm adding more casuals to realize that I'm really crazy, but actually I'm really not. But I'm letting them buy into it. And guess what, Devin? I'm a C-level fighter. Isn't that what you called me? This is the thought process of Ryan Garcia. You called me a C-level fighter. I know. Bigger following than you. I'm more of a exciting fighter than you. I don't grab, drag, and hold like you. I fight. I let my hands go. I fought Tank Davis. You didn't. Yeah, I took a knee and got TKO, but at least I got in the ring and fought Tank Davis. You didn't. And I made more money than you in our fight. And I beat you. Even though they gave you your O back, because you know I had that billionth of a gram of ostarine in my system. But it was unintentional cheating. This is the I'm not talking for Ryan. This is his thought process. So imagine how he's supposed to feel and think when he goes back to a negotiating table with Devin. What is he supposed to say? Think about it. He had all of those advantages over Devin, and he didn't even have a world title. Now he has a world title with those same advantages when he come back to the negotiating table. That's all I'm saying. Not only that, but the negotiations between Ryan and Devin never even started. That's just the truth. It never even started. And guess what? Because it never started, and I'm talking about officially started. I'm not talking about on X, formerly known as Twitter, where they going back and forth. I'm talking about officially, the men with boots and suits in the background, inking out the deal, negotiating. Never officiated, never officially started in the first place. And then guess who saw the play? PBC and them. They said, okay, well, since they're not going to fight, Devin has a world title. Our guy Rolly has a world title. Let's send Devin an offer. You see, it was cool when Devin and Bill Haney kept running around here talking about they sent Shakur Stevenson an offer. It was cool when Bill and Devin Haney ran around here saying they sent Gary Russell an offer. Y'all remember that? I think some of y'all might have forgot about that. Oh, okay. Sent this guy an offer. Remember, there was supposed to be talks between the Haneys and Sabrio Matias. Some of y'all forgot about that, didn't you? Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Right. But PBC slid right in the gap and said, we're going to make Devin a secured offer. The date, May 30th, 2026. The venue, Las Vegas, MGM Grand. The network, Amazon Prime. Pay-per-view. Don't get no better than that. Unified title fights. Don't get no better than that. And now Devin Haney is saying that Rolly Romero is delusional. They sent you the offer, Dev. That means you're the B-side, bro. I know some of y'all don't want to hear that, but it's the truth. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Most of the time when a A-side fighter is locked into a guaranteed contract, the B-side make more than the A-side. Whew. Don't make me teach y'all the business of boxing tonight. Whoo. Oh, okay. But in any event, what's taking you so long to sign? Didn't we see this movie play out before? Y'all don't remember? You know when there was a unification bout that everybody was talking about at one point. You know when PBC stepped in. You know when Al Heyman stepped in and sent the fighter a term sheet with the date, the location of the venue, the money that was on the table, that was being offered. You remember that, right? Okay. It don't sound familiar? How about I give you a hint? Terrence Crawford. You remember that? Some of y'all was here. Y'all remember that. When Terrence Crawford was sent an offer by PBC and he kept stalling out. And he had no representation in the beginning. And he talked to Al Heyman directly on the phone, not once, but 3 times. In fact, Terrence Crawford criticized Errol Spence for having representation. He was criticizing him and said, I don't need representation. I talk to the big wigs on my own. And then little old manager Marty came on YouTube and told Terrence Crawford, you better get you some representation. You think you're going to out negotiate Steven Espinosa and Al Heyman by yourself? Go look at my older videos when I first started doing videos on YouTube. And guess what? Terrence Crawford did everything manager Marty told him to do leading up to that fight. Leading up to the first negotiation and the second one, even when the first one fell through. Huh? And guess what? Terrence Crawford got him reputable representation, and he went back to negotiate. And guess what? All his demands got met. Oh, okay then. That right there was for all the people that said I be hating on Bud Crawford. Yeah. I see y'all. So in the beginning of my tenure here on YouTube, I was getting a lot of flack. I'm talking about I was being abused. You don't know nothing. Who are you? We don't even know who you are. You hating on Bud. All your videos is about Terrence Crawford. Blah, 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 blah. And Terrence Crawford did everything manager Marty told him to do. Hello. You don't think Bud was listening? He was. Now, that's not me just, what's that word they use? Insinuating. His close friend, LC, who lived a few minutes away from him in Bomax Gym, came on this platform not once, but twice. And confirmed that. You don't think Bernie the boxer know who I am? He knows who I am. They know. When Terrence Crawford kept stalling out, I was giving Terrence Crawford the game. Go watch my older YouTube videos, man. Fact check me. Don't do it now, though. Don't do it now. Wait till the live go off. We don't want to hurt the viewership any more than it's being hurt. Thank you, YouTube, for shadow banning me for a year and a half. I get your message. But we ain't going to stop putting out good quality content over here. But that's all I'm saying. Yeah. And I'm trying to give the game to the Haneys like I've been doing since I've been on YouTube. I told the Haneys, go back and look. Some of y'all remember I played this video about a month ago. I played the video for you all a month ago. And what I said on YSM Sports Media, when Jamil asked me, what do you think Devin Haney should do now that he has defeated Lomachenko at 135? And I said that Devin Haney should go and do the same thing that Manny Pacquiao did when he got out of his deal with Top Rank. Devin Haney should do the same thing that Terrence Crawford did when he got out of his deal with Top Rank, because Devin Haney just got out of his deal with Top Rank after signing a 3-fight exclusive deal with them to fight Kambosos twice and then Lomachenko. Do the same thing that Pacquiao and Terrence Crawford did when they got out of their deal with Top Rank. Very simply, go to who? Al Heyman and PBC. Isn't that what Manny Pacquiao did? Yes, he did. Isn't that what Terrence Crawford did? Yes, he did. Devin Haney, do the same thing. And guess who else I told to do that too? Shakur Stevenson, when he got out of his deal with Top Rank. You want to fight Tank Davis, Shakur? Go over and do the same thing Bud did. Go over and do the same thing Manny Pacquiao did. Go over and do the same thing I'm telling Devin to do. You do it, Shakur. Since you saying you want to fight Tank Davis and you have representation in Jay Prince, go over there and negotiate with PBC to get that Tank Davis fight. And Shakur didn't listen to me. He actually went over to Eddie Hearn instead of using his leverage as a free agent. But that's none of my business. I'm just a manager at Walmart. Isn't that what Bill Haney said? Okay, but the manager at Walmart had to be right at some point because guess what? Devin and Bill Haney considered fighting Rolly Romero. Well, wait a minute. Isn't Rolly Romero with PBC, Al Heyman, and TGB promote? Y'all should have did that with Tank Davis 3 years ago when manager Marty tried to school you to go do it. You'd have made 3 times as much fighting Tank Davis at that time over Rolly. But it is what it is. That's all I'm saying. So I believe that Devin Haney's next opponent is 2 people, or it should be 2 people. This is just my observation. Shout out to Dion. What's up, Dion? Hi, Dion. It should be 2 people because it's not going to be Rolly and Ryan. So we can hang that up. And I hope it is Rolly or Ryan. I do. I know for a fact that Devin Haney don't want to fight Ryan Garcia in a rematch. And if he do, I'm going to need him to show a little bit more interest and not keep saying Vada, testing, Vada. You know why? Because if you say Devin Haney, like he did in his tweet, y'all saw the video earlier, some of y'all, as the viewership is increasing exponentially. Y'all know I don't even be on here this late, but I love y'all. That's why I came right back. 3 videos published today and alive. I've never done that before, but we here now. I appreciate y'all. Check this out. Devin Haney said the reason why Ryan Garcia, right, wanted to get VADA tested in July, leading up to their fight in September, is because he's cycling on and off. But if you know anything about VADA testing, I've already proven this before, and I'll do it again tonight if I have to. But they test the fighters who have a scheduled bout or a scheduled fight 8 weeks prior. Bam, go and look at your screen. There it is. I'm going to read it for you. This is from their very own website. This is from the first website, not the new and improved website that I posted today in the video. This is the old one. It says basically the same thing. Here it is. Professional athletes will volunteer to be subject to unannounced testing at any time during the 8 weeks prior to a scheduled fight. So if the scheduled fight is going to be in September, Devin Haney, then that means that testing through VADA would start in July. So instead of you saying that the reason why Ryan Garcia want to start testing in July is because he's cycling on and off, how about you just say, I appreciate that because you are a WBC champion, Ryan Garcia. And the WBC, according to their own rule, they mandate every one of their world champions in every weight class to be subject to unannounced testing through VADA 8 weeks prior to a scheduled fight, including the top 15 contenders. That's ranked. That should have made it easier for you to want to fight Ryan Garcia, Devin, because he did say July, which is 8 weeks prior to September. Am I making any sense here? Or am I still hating on Devin Haney? Oh, okay. So, since we know he ain't going to fight Ryan, and apparently he's not going to fight Rolly because he said the money ain't right. The money wasn't right. But you told Max Kellerman, Mike Coppinger, Shady McCoy, the only one I really give a little credence to for his boxing knowledge, not the other 2, but Devin Haney told those 3 guys when they interviewed him 3 weeks ago, oh, the deal was great. The offer was good. Yeah, yeah. He sent the network, the network talking about they going to put the money up. Oh, the network. Yeah. Amazon. He gave it the date, the location of the venue. Oh man, this looked like a solid offer. But now all of a sudden, the money ain't right. Mm, 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 mm. Who is that in the chat giving me love? The real Ricky Tan. Thank you, the real Ricky Tan. Not used to seeing your name, but I appreciate you coming over, man. Thank you. Ricky Tan said that last video was fire. He told me to I kept them receipts. Yeah, the real Ricky Tan. I don't know if this is your first encounter with me or my program or my podcast or the channel, but that's all I do is come with receipts, man. So I appreciate you coming over. Keep watching, man. We appreciate you. Welcome to the Roller Tape family, man. You know what I mean? So if I'm not making sense, then that means I'm just a pure hater. But if I'm making sense, then that means there's something wrong with this picture over there with the Haneys. Now, listen, I'm only the manager of Walmart. That's what Bill Haney told uh, millions of people on the Fight Hub TV. The Fight Hub TV has over 2 million subscribers. Bill Haney told hundreds of thousands of viewers that video, that interview that Bill Haney did with that guy, Vegas, what's his name? Vegas, right? Right? Hundreds of thousands of people heard him call me manager at Walmart. He was scared to say my name though. He didn't put the Marty on it, but even the guy Vegas know who I am, and he was laughing, telling Bill Haney, "Oh, I know who you're talking about." Y'all remember that? I have the tape. I still have it. I'm not going to play it. Well, if somebody challenged me, I will play it. But my point is, Bill Haney, you need to listen to me. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you out, bro. That's all I'm saying. Trying to help these guys. So, hey, the two people that I think Devin Haney should fight, one of them is the other world champion. His name is Lewis Crocker. I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. I only saw him fight one time in his last fight. I'm just keeping it real. I only saw this kid fight one time. Well, he's not a kid. He's almost 30 years old. He's like 29 or 30. But Lewis Crocker. I mean, think about it. Ryan Garcia is a world champion at 147. Rolly Romero, world champion, 147. Devin Haney, world champion at 147. And Lewis Crocker, the other world champion at 147. Right? Well, if Devin Haney's the world champion and he's not going to fight Ryan Garcia, if Devin Haney's the world champion and he's not going to fight Rolly Romero, there's only one more champion that he can fight to unify. Lewis Crocker. And yes, we know that Lewis Crocker is in the UK, Belfast, right? But look, Lewis Crocker is a fighter that's right down Devin Haney's alleyway. I mean, that's not a knock on Lewis Crocker. I'm just saying, the profile matches the typical Devin Haney opponent. I mean, don't get mad at me. I'm just telling y'all what it is. He meets the profile of a typical standard Devin Haney opponent. I'm talking about Lewis Crocker. First of all, he's a world champion. So you can't take nothing away from this guy. He has 20-something fights. He's undefeated, but he only has 12 knockouts. That's right down Devin Haney's alleyway. This man doesn't have one-punch knockout power. That's a plus for Devin Haney. He's older. That's a plus. Devin Haney. He's much smaller, naturally speaking, as a physical specimen than Devin Haney. That's also a plus of Devin. These are three key elements that the Haneys look for. No power, much naturally smaller, and much older in age. It's very typical. And he's a world champion. Sort of like Regis Prograis, world champion, At the time that he fought Devin, much naturally smaller than him. At the time he fought Devin, much older than him in age. At the time he fought Devin. Should I continue? Okay, then. Devin Haney and Lewis Crocker. Unified title. Oh, there's one more other element to it. That's why I saved it for last. He's not black, nor is he American. Look, don't get mad at me. Some fighters need that extra push when it comes to the business of boxing. It's important when you have two nationalities going at it against each other when they representing their independent countries. You get your biggest paydays. Devin Haney's biggest paydays have not come from him fighting black American fighters. That doesn't meet the standard of the Devin Haney blueprints. Okay? And Devin's not the only one that fights, people that represent other nationalities because it helped them too. But I'm just talking about Devin right now. Okay? So this is a great opportunity for Devin Haney. Fight Lewis Crocker. I think he can beat Lewis Crocker. Then he can have two belts. Now that will help at the negotiating table when he's talking to the other two entities representing one, Ryan Garcia, and representing two, Rolly Romero. Sounds like good business to me. Or he can fight someone else who's not a world champion that's ranked in the top 15. I have a name. I know for sure that Devin Haney won't fight him. And most of you probably didn't even think about him. Remember that guy, Karen? Remember him? The guy that people said gave Boots a lot of trouble. Him. Boots fought him not once, but twice. Him. Karen. What y'all think about that? Can somebody tell me in the live chat or the comment section below in the comment section? Well, 03 Dub, I know Crocker against Pero, but see, I think Crocker is going to beat Pero. No disrespect to Pero. I mean, he is the naturally smaller guy, but as far as styles, I think Crocker is going to beat Pero. So that's why I'm saying Devin can fight him. But how about Karen? Because Karen ain't no joke. People was criticizing Boots and how he looked against Karen, but Karen's nothing to play with. Whether you Boots or not, people need to respect Karen. But Devin can fight him. He's in the top 15. He might be in the top 7. Yeah, he can fight Karen. I mean, Karen's coming off of a long layoff if he fight Devin, but that's good too. Yeah, fight Karen. He's a fan favorite. He's a crowd pleaser. You saw how he looked when he fought, using lateral movement the first time he fought Boots. So he showed that he can move around. And then you saw how he was in the pocket with Boots in that second fight. And he was ready to exchange. He wasn't retreating in that second fight. He was letting his hands go on the inside. So that's what I'm saying. Hey, Devin can fight him. I mean, that is a tough fight for Devin. I don't think Devin will ever fight Karen. But I'm just saying it's not a lot of options at the 147-pound division. Got to fight somebody. And you can't keep calling out Turkey, waiting for Turkey to give you a handout. Where is your boxing representation? Why y'all sitting down just waiting for somebody to offer you something? You are a world champion with a boxing manager who was the 2023 Boxing Manager of the Year. That's all I'm saying. Oh, don't forget he has DHP Promotions. But nobody still have told me yet how many shows, even locally, has he promoted. What's the name of his fighter? Y'all was the same ones asking me when I first got on YouTube, who did you manage? And I kept my mouth shut like Mr. Bean. Y'all remember that show, Mr. Bean? I think there's a movie that came out named Mr. Bean. Oh, okay. I'm not trying to tell y'all my age, but the point I'm trying to get at is I had to get insulted in here every time I went live. And I was going live like 3 times a week back then. Who do you manage? Who do you manage? Who do you manage? Who do you manage? Now everybody talking about DHP, DHP, DHP. Devin Haney's promotions. Okay, well, who they promote? Name a fighter they built up. How many local shows did they do? I can tell you how many local shows Danny Garcia has done since he's been a promoter. I can tell you how many local shows that Boots have done since he's become a promoter. I'm just trying to, and guess what? I can tell you each of their prospects that they're trying to build up right now. And one of them, I judged many of his fights when I was a judge in the amateurs. And I know his father. You know what I mean? And I judge a lot of his younger brother fights. I'm talking about for Danny Garcia's DHG promotions. I know them guys. But I'm just trying to figure out where's the local fighters that Devin Haney trying to put on the map and build up. Since he has the celebrity status now, world championship status now, he's a world champion caliber fighter. Because you can't take that away from Devin. The young man can fight now. But where are you using your leverage to turn around and hand the baton and give back to the sport? That's all I'm asking for. Or your dad gonna keep running around doing all this extra talking and pimping out the media. Where's the progress at? That's where I'm getting at with this. Oh, okay. So fight Lewis Crocker. Well, if Perro beat him, then fight him then. But Lewis Crocker or Karen. I mean, I don't see anybody else at 147 that has a name worthy, a name worthy level where a fan would say, I know this person and I've seen this person and I've seen how this person did good. And I would want to buy it, even though I might be a casual. I want to buy that fight because I remember, even though he lost the Boots twice, I remember how he looked in that second fight. And I'm telling you, Karen gained more fans after that second fight with Boots. Because I told y'all this 3 years ago, some of you, and most of you wasn't here, but some of you were, and you remember me, my day one supporters, y'all remember this, when I used to tell you, boxers can lose a fight and still win a fan. Remember I told y'all that? And I use Isaac Cruz as one of the examples around that time when he fought Tank Davis, because remember, Isaac Cruz, nobody really knew who he was like that. And everybody thought he was going to get knocked out because he came in that fight on a 2-week short notice to fight Tank Davis. And he won a lot of fans that night. And guess what? You ain't going to believe this. Let me tell you something. Pitbull Cruz has been on pay-per-view more times than Devin Haney. And he's a fan favorite. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. It's not hating. Now, moving right along, Tank Davis. I don't want to belabor the points that you already heard or already covered if you're a content creator, because we've been talking about Tank Davis now for the past, 24 to 48, particularly 24 hours, because, he had court earlier today. His attorney filed a motion, right, to dismiss the case, which is common practice, very commonplace. There was an arraignment, right? We know what that means, right? So you all understand the paperwork and what's happening at this point, the language that has been read over the YouTube community. But I don't want to talk about that part. Shout out to my man, Cam J Network. Somebody said DHP equals Devin himself promotions. See, that's what I'm saying, Dev. If you listening, Dev, y'all gotta sharpen up over there. Your management keep dropping the ball on these big money fights because there's nobody else. That's why they keep running, talking about Turkey, save us, Turkey. Man, Turkey and them got a war that they weren't about. Turkey weren't about Zuffa and all this stuff, man. He ain't got time to keep catering to you for you to be no undercard on his cards, man. You calling out Turkey when Turkey made you the undercard in 2 fights. Man, you better find somebody that can make you a main event. And Rolly Romero gonna make you a main event. Ryan Garcia in the rematch gonna make you a main event, Devin. But you calling these two guys delusional. They the best two options for you now. Or fight Karen. He's a recognizable name now. And he's been on a layoff. Take advantage of that. He probably walk around 180 right now. Make him have a fat camp. And then test him through VADA. Like y'all keep screaming VADA, VADA, VADA. See, I'm trying to help you, Devin. Y'all keep saying I'm hating on Devin. I'm trying to help the kid. I'm waiting for his manager to make a power move because I haven't seen one yet. All I've seen his manager do is walk him in a room and get signed exclusively to a promoter. I'm still waiting for the manager to leverage their free agency. I haven't seen it yet. Some people call it hate, but I haven't seen it yet. They went from this promoter to that promoter to this promoter to that promoter and back to Eddie Hearn. Okay, you don't believe? Ask the Haneys this question. How come every time Devin Haney's at a press conference, Eddie Hearn is there too? I asked this question, excuse me. I asked this question nearly a year ago when Devin Haney was about to fight Ramirez. When Ryan Garcia was about to fight Rolly. At the press conference, who was there? Eddie Hearn. Oh, okay. At the last press conference, who was there? Eddie Hearn. Oh, okay. I'm just trying to figure out why he keeps sitting next to Devin Haney. I know why he's sitting next to Shakur Stevenson. We already know that. I know why he's sitting next to Jerron Boots Ennis. We already know that. But why do he keep sitting next to Devin Haney? Oh, okay. That's all I'm saying. Double salute to my guy, Sin Ironheart. Thank you, man, for warming up the air fryer, man. I'm air frying tonight. I don't know what they talking about. Thank you for your contribution and your support, Sin Ironheart. Sin Ironheart says this in the super chat. Fun fact: Manager Marty got the very first Ironheart super chat on YouTube. Hashtag RTT Originals. And if you want to know what RTT stands for, if you're new to the audience, it stands for Roll the Tape. Man, I ain't never been on YouTube this late in a long time. Thank you, Sin Ironheart, for giving Manager Marty your very, very first super chat. And here's the thing: Ironheart showed love and support by donating his time on multiple panels on different YouTube channels. So I didn't even know that Sin Ironheart never super chatted. And this is his very first, and he put it in bold letters. Very first one. I know the love is real. Thank you, Sin Ironheart. And let me say this: I won Sin Ironheart over because he started watching my content and he saw how I single-handedly dismantled Snack and Victor Conti and all of the fighters that represent him. And then Sin Ironheart started coming on a panel, and we've been cool ever since. Shout out to my guy, Sin Ironheart. Thank you, man. That's all I'm saying. The love is here, man. Thomas Hill, what's up, big dog? That's all I'm saying, y'all. Now, Tank Davis. I don't want to come with the same approach that others may have. Okay? Everybody talked about the paperwork, I'm sure. I don't know who, but I'm sure a few people did. Talked about the paperwork, talked about the criminal case, the charges, the civil suit, the 20 million, then the 5 million from the girl, and she recanted her story. Yeah, everybody talked about all of that. I don't want to talk about that with Tank Davis. I want to talk about the money grab. Here's the thing. Tank Davis has to pay legal fees. If Tank Davis get convicted, and this is across the board in every state in this country, if you are convicted of any crime, not charged, hear me out, convicted, there's a form of restitution payments that the state will invoke to the defendant. And then some of them are very minor fees, but the point is, it's still money, right? That you would have to pay. Now, and when I say convicted, let me be clear. It doesn't mean that every conviction mandates a prison sentence. Okay. Let's be clear on something. We know that Tank has violated his probation, the terms and conditions. We know that. Okay. I don't think this is going to warrant him to going to jail, but if it does, it's going to be because of a violation of his probation based on the terms and conditions of them. And I know one of the terms and conditions when a defendant is on probation, this is worldwide here in America, nationwide, not worldwide, I would say nationwide here in America. You cannot have contact with law enforcement when, and when I say contact, I mean having contact with law enforcement when you are under arrest. I'm not talking about being detained. I'm not talking about being pulled over, having that kind of contact. I'm not talking about walking out of Dunkin' Donuts and saying hi to the police officer and having contact like that. No, I'm talking about legal contact where probable cause has been warranted and the defendant gets arrested and charged with a crime. That's just what that is. And because of the situation that Tank Davis is in, based on that hit and run incident a few years back, some of us remember that, right? Violation of his probation. Now, in that, I'm not getting to all of that. It's a money grab. And here's why I say that, because if he is convicted, yes, he will have legal fees to pay on this on the front of the fact that he was convicted and he would owe the state. Separately, as we're still talking right now in live time, there's a calculator that's being used every hour. Okay. Now he may have an attorney on retainer. I don't know. Bottom line is that's money that Tank Davis could have invested somewhere else. Just hiring an attorney and going through this legal process in itself. And every time there's a motion filed on his behalf, that costs money as well. So what I'm saying is the attorneys representing Tank Davis, irregardless of whether he win or lose, he's going to have to pay. Now that there's a video that surfaced, I would assume that he would have to pay a settlement to this young lady. Now, if there was no tape, yes, they can still, you know, try to pressure him to pay an out of court settlement or whatever the asking price is in exchange for not wanting to go the full length of a trial and the smear campaigns and all of the negative attention and publicity that these type of circumstances warrant, right? So some people say, look, I'll just do the out of court settlement. That way, I'll be incentivized of not having any criminal charges imposed on me. That's very, very standard in law. We know that. We know that. No, I know it sounds better if I say somebody's extorting them, right? And by right, they probably are. I'm not going to rule out the possibility. But at the end of the day, that's the effects. And I don't want to drive the effects. Everybody talked about that. I want to talk about the cause. All of this money that Tank Davis is going to have to shell out just from hiring an attorney and going through this whole process. This is money that he could have invested in his family, in his future, in his children, and other investments. Not only that, but let's say he has to give this woman $2 million. I don't think they're going to give her five. So she can hang that up. But this is a good try. She has an attorney. This is what their job is. But irregardless of the asking price or the settlement offer, the bottom line is that's money that is being extracted from Tank Davis's bank account. So yes, we can talk about, oh, they, trying to set him up, She was smiling in the video. He still went over there that night and still hit. She still let him in the apartment. We can say all of that. But before we can address any of those reactions and the effects, we got to deal with the cause. And the cause is Tank Davis put his hands on this young lady. Tank Davis grabbed this young lady by the hair. Now, he didn't kidnap her, but I know that is one of the things that was mentioned before. But Tank Davis put himself in a position. She didn't come to a boxing event and target Tank Davis. I'm talking about this time. She didn't come to a boxing event of Tank Davis and start harassing him. I'm talking about this time. I don't know if she did in the past. I'm talking about this time. We saw Tank Davis on tape coming to her place of employment. Unannounced. Uninvited. That's a form of stalking. I don't know if he's being charged with that, but I'm just saying that's a form of stalking. And not only did he come to her place of employment, he grabbed her by the hair. And it sounds like to me that he knew that place very well from the video I seen. I mean, he was walking through the joint like he owned the place. I mean, walking through the kitchen area. I'm like, dang, Tank just ran. He came. His entrance was from over there, but by the time it was time to leave, he done walked through the establishment. He knew exactly where he was going. Went to the garage and everything. And then the young lady, she started running back towards the door to get back to her job and get away from Tank. Things of that nature. And this is not the first time Tank Davis compromised his ability to have self-control, because at the basketball game, the celebrity or fundraising basketball game, y'all remember that? A couple years ago, he gripped another girl. His ex, he gripped her up in front of everybody in public. That's on camera. You see my point? This is a pattern of behavior of Tank Davis. And what I'm saying is Tank Davis has to mature himself enough to not put himself in a compromising position for somebody to even get a money grab off of him. And I have to hold his witness accountable. He was with a man that was following them all around. Now, I don't want to assume that he wasn't security, because he did look like he had something in his hand, like a wrapped up food or something. I don't know what it was. Phone. I did see that. But the point is, if that's his homie never said, yo, chill, Tank. Let's get out of here, man. Yo, man, they got cameras in here, bro. Hey, yo, man, I'm going to throw this food in the trash. We got to get up out of here. Oh, come on, Tank. You ain't got to grab her by the hair, bro. Yo, man, this girl going to call the cops on you, man. We got to get out of here. Yo, Tank, this is not good for your image. Hey, yo, man, I love you, bro. I don't want you to get locked up. I didn't see none of that in the video. Did y'all? I mean, I'm just asking a question. Did y'all see that in the video? If you friends with somebody, what's the old saying? Friends don't let friends drive drunk. At some point, y'all, Tank Davis cannot put himself in these compromising positions. And I don't want to disparage the young lady, because I know she's trying to work. The girl works in a gentleman's club, Tank Davis. Why are you in your feelings? Let me take my glasses off to say this last part. That ain't your girlfriend, Tank. She's everybody's girlfriend that night. Every time a stripper or a worker in a gentleman's club go to work, she's everybody's girlfriend when she's at work that day. That's a part of her job, to make every guy feel like she's their girlfriend, to get that money out their pockets. Now, they say it ain't tricking if you got it. So apparently Tank got it. And Tank, you probably was tricking, bro. I don't know if he was or not, But I'm just saying, if you in a gentleman's club, you're spending money. If you in a strip club or any type of environments like that, you're going to spend some cash. That's why I don't go in them places. I listen. I know this might not sound right to some people, but it's 11:23 p.m. here on the East Coast, and I just got to talk my stuff. That I'm with the grits tonight. All I'm saying is I don't believe in paying for something that's free anyway. Hey, to each his own. I'm not judging nobody. I'm just saying that's not Manager Marty's twist. But I'm saying Tank Davis, if that's your twist, I get it. But she grinding all up on you and gyrating, and then y'all take it another step further. You paying to play, big dog. Why you in your feelings? Anytime a man have to go to great lengths of putting his hands on a woman, you in your feelings. You took her personal, bro? That was your girl? I'm just asking because the way I saw that video, it looked like you still want to be with the girl. And then people saying, "Oh, he went over there that night." And I know this ain't gonna sound right to some people, but y'all know me. I'm not politically correct anyway. So why am I going? What am I start the night for? That ain't the girl fault. Ooh, I'm about to bless a man life this evening. That's not the girl fault. People are criticizing her by saying she did all of this complaining, saying that she was scared of Tank Davis, but she let him in her apartment that same night. Let me tell you a secret, fellas. Women control sex and dating. Okay? Sir, have self-control. She controls the environment of sex. She's a female. What does that have to do with you going over there? She made you that mad to come to her job unannounced, uninvited, stalking her, seeing her, pulling her hair, coercing her to go down through the kitchen, down the steps, through the garage, only to run away from you. And you still went over there, bro? That's not a knock on her. She already showed Tank who she was in the club. That's a knock on Tank Davis. When a girl gets you that mad, whether that's your girlfriend or not, you still gonna hit that night? You was just mad 2 hours ago. She about to look. Tank Davis took penitentiary chances when he grabbed that girl. And he was on probation at the time he did it. Violating the probation. That's penitentiary chances, man. And you still went over and hit that night? Oh, that's a knock on Tank Davis. I'm not going to hold that girl accountable for that at all. She's a woman. Women be in their emotions. But that ain't the point. The point is, as a man, you have to have self-control and govern yourself accordingly. And I want to say this so bad, but I know there's women in the chat, and I don't really want to offend the women in the chat. So I'm not going to say the word. I'm going to say the letter. Is that fair? Because I'm still a gentleman in everything I do. But I'm going to tell you something. A lot of times as men, our D head turns us into a D head. Y'all get my drift. I'm not going to say the word itself. You can't let your D head turn you into a D head. And the move that Tank Davis made on that video that I saw, that was a D head move, man. And the fact that I'm hearing that he went over to her apartment that same night goes to prove my point. That's, hey, don't get mad at me. But we got to keep it real. It can't be I'm a pro Tank Davis fan, so I'm going to downplay. No, that's not cool. Can't downplay his behavior. He didn't give you nothing to work with. He didn't even give his attorney nothing to work with. They got him on tape, y'all. That's the problem. This ain't no he say, she say, hearsay case. This is you in front of a witness, a man who can make a phone call and rat on you. but you on tape anyway with it. That's all I'm saying. Tank Davis is on tape. We're not talking about nothing else but the tape. And then they're looking at his history, his past behavior patterns. When he gets upset with girls and females, he likes to put his hands on them. Might not slap them, even though he was sued for that before. But bottom line is, whether he slap them, whether he grab them, whether he choke them, whether he grab them by the hair, whether he drag them, bottom line is domestic violence. And it doesn't age well, just like that last video, because they can use that in this case. Look, 2 or 3 years ago, he gripped up a different woman at a basketball game in front of thousands and thousands of people. It was a charity basketball game. All kind of people were in that stadium down in Florida. And look how he grabbed this woman, Your Honor. This how they gonna paint him in the courtroom. Am I right or wrong? So if this is a money grab, Tank Davis has to hold himself accountable. I don't like this for Tank. I don't like this for no man. But I don't like this for Tank Davis. But we got to keep it real as men. We cannot sit up there and downplay what he did by talking about how she's reacting. For every action, there's a reaction. Don't address a person's reaction without addressing your actions. There's something wrong with that. Let me give you an example. As men, we so quick to get mad when a girl or our woman or our wife catch us cheating. Just going to use that because that's a common, that's common, that's common in relationships. Man, she shouldn't have checked my phone. That's your wife. You gave her all access all other times. Wasn't a problem. But now you with Lisa and your wife caught you. Now you mad at her reaction. Wrong. You got caught because of what you did. You can be mad all you want, but you got to hold yourself accountable for your actions as a man. That's all I'm saying. Got to hold yourself accountable for your actions. That's it. Not the way she's man, she's going to file a $20 million, well, 5 in her case, she going to file a $5 million lawsuit on him. And she told him, and her attorney told Tank, listen, if you don't pay us the $5 million, we going to file criminal charges. Well, I don't want to break nobody's bubble, but that's not extortion. They do that all the time in legal cases. It's practically standard in the legal community. You don't believe me? Go ask Shannon Sharp. Hey, Shannon Sharp, tell him. Hey, what the lawyer tell you, Shannon? We got these text messages, bro. The panel is open. There's a link in the top of this chat, and I didn't even expect to be on here this long, but I'm with the grits tonight. Click the link. It's there. Somebody's asking me about the link. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Anybody can come up. Let's talk about boxing. Come on up. You're welcome. Everyone's welcome. But back to this. That's standard. The attorney negotiating with Shannon Sharp and his attorney. Look, the client of mine's want to press charges. Yeah, she want to go the whole mile on this case. And she wants to press charges on Shannon Sharp. But for a nominal fee, we can bypass that. In exchange for us not filing any criminal charges, we'll go the civil route and we can agree on an out-of-court settlement. That happens all the time. Happened to Bill Cosby too. This is not just happened to Michael Jackson, even though I believe in my heart Michael Jackson was innocent. Happened with Floyd Mayweather. This is not the first time we've seen this in entertainment or with a celebrity. That's just how they do it. To prevent, even if the person's innocent, just because a person pay an out-of-court settlement does not mean that the person is guilty. But the backlash and the negative press and the negative publicity and how they going to drag your name in the mud. Some of that's time. Sometimes the celebrities say, "Look, I don't want to go through all of that. The public relations is more riskier than me trying to plead my innocence and pay these attorney fees. I can pay the attorney fees. I don't mind clearing my name. It's the other stuff that come with it. My kids, a lot of things, right? So I'm just saying, look at the whole picture. So look at the part where they probably extorting Tank. Look at that. Look at the fact where she did recant her story. Look at that because that's a part of the full picture. I'm not saying just eliminate that. I'm just saying from what we saw in the video, Tank Davis can't put himself in these positions for people to do him like this. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the girl not wrong about something that she did. Of course, she's wrong about a few things, but Tank Davis has to be more wise in his approach and his selection of these type of women, because all of the women that he has chosen thus far that we know of, he's had an argument or it blew out of proportion. Like the last girl that said he hit her and he didn't even hit her. She came back and, admitted that she lied on him. But that's when they said something about he threw a toothbrush at her and all that. That's a whole separate girl. So I'm just saying Tank Davis and his selection of women, he just gotta
Better.
put himself in some better positions because he's losing money, he's losing credibility, and look, the whole thing with Jake Paul, and I got my man KQ here, and my man Paid in Full. I'm gonna let them on, but the thing is, and I called Jake Paul out for this because Jake Paul, he made it seem like, oh, Tank Davis is this monster and all that. But Jake Paul, you knew about certain things that Tank was accused of. You didn't have a problem then when y'all signed him to fight you for all these millions of dollars. So don't try to jump on a bandwagon now and make it seem like the fight's not happening all because Tank Davis is a monster. No, Tank Davis is not a monster. Don't do that to Tank Davis. But see, a lot of like the girl, she probably was waiting for Tank Davis to get this payday. You know what I'm saying? She was waiting for him to get this big payday and then come out with it. But when that fight fell through, she said, "Oh, I'm a tell now." You know what I mean? So that part might have been true, but the point that I'm trying to drive home, just from the foundation of things, I want Tank to make a better decision on the type of girls that he have around him, or he take personal. These girls looking at him like a money bag. And speaking of money bag, I got two guys on here that's big money. KQ and Paid in Full. What's going on, KQ?
Man, what's going on, Marty? My guy, what's happening with you, brother?
My God,
I'm
Marty,
good,
what's up?
man. Paid in Full. What's up, big dog?
What's going on? No,
Uh,
I agree with everything you said, bro. I think you do got to move smarter in those situations because you're not the same. Because I feel like if he was an ordinary, regular dude, that probably wouldn't even got escalated to that situation. But by him being a public figure, bro, you got to move smarter than that because at the end of the day, it's like you said, his kids and stuff, all that shit is being affected by this whole situation. It's money being taken out of your pocket, bro. And I think the situation was he didn't know that she went to the police. So when he went over her house, he didn't know that she even went to the police about that. So I guess his attorney or whatever reached out to Tank's uh I guess his handler or whatever basically was trying to get money out of him, basically saying that, hey, we know you know what happened or whatever, such this, such that. If you don't give me this money or whatever, we're gonna go to the police station, file charges and get money that way. But not to mention they had already went to the police before that situation even happened. So I don't know. It's a kind of a sticky situation, but again, he shouldn't have been in that situation to begin with, especially when you got that money, that amount of money on the table, bro.
But look here, I look at it like this. He don't know how. See, you have to look at it. Gervonta Davis is not really an educated man. And also what he came from, then that's all he know. Yeah, he's in a different tax bracket, but he still has that same mentality. Look at Clarissa Shields. She put her own self in a trick bag. She still got that mentality of Flint, Michigan, but she's in a different tax bracket, and she keep running her mouth and putting herself deeper and deeper, missing opportunities. So we all accountable. We got to be accountable and make changes in our life. And that's what Tank needs. Somebody needs to hold his hand and show him, no, we ain't gonna, no, we ain't gonna go this way. We're gonna go this way. But see, but if that's all you know, then that's what all you're gonna get attracted to. You know, and I'm sorry, but some men and women are not so attractive to them other type of other women. It's somebody for everybody. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying that maybe Tank just don't know how. You know, and I'm not saying that he's dumb or nothing like that. I'm just saying he
Well, then
maybe just
but that's more of a personal problem though, KQKC. Because
Mhm.
at the end of the day, I get what you're saying, but he a grown man though, bro.
Right, right,
Like if you know you got these issues and situations like that, bro. Sometimes you gotta take care of yourself before you take care of anybody. You ain't gonna be healthy.
exactly,
Like if you're not healthy within yourself, bro, you're gonna damage anybody that you come around. Because
true.
you ain't got the help that you ain't seek the help that you actually needed, bro. So I get what you're saying, bro. I don't disagree, but I think at the end of the day, bro, he gotta make smarter moves, bro. Like
No, I agree with that too.
you,
Yeah, I agree
you
with you too on that.
I
Yeah,
don't think it's like part of me on some shit like my bad, excuse my language, but part of me on some stuff like, bro, like you gotta, I don't think, like, how can you put yourself in these situations with these girls time and time and time again, bro? Like if that's the case, my nigga, start making motherfuckers sign NDAs or something like that just to protect yourself. At the end of the day, it's still gonna result back to him, bro. Right? He gotta
right,
seek professional help or something, bro. Because if not, these situations gonna keep reoccurring, bro. And
exactly.
like this damn near the fourth instance, bro. It's like, come on, man, you gotta be smarter than that, bro. You a
Yeah,
multi-millionaire, nigga. Anybody would right now would damn near want to do something crazy just to be in your position, bro. Just to
right.
even touch $1 million.
Yeah,
But they become so, but they become when you like more money make you more worse than you were when you ain't have the money. It make you
more
a
problems. Yeah.
yeah. Like it's a crazy situation, man. And I hate to see him go through it, but bro, like this damn near got to be a wake up call to you, bro. Because I don't know if they just gave you a slap on the wrist, now you risking your freedom. Not only that, if you gotta fight the situation, you can't just sit there and settle out because that's gonna violate you in Baltimore. So you damn near gotta go. You gotta just fight this whole situation.
And I look at it, Tank is a good fighter because he has that attitude. And
Mm-hmm.
he got a trigger. And that trigger goes off just like that, man. And I had seen the tape in the gym or whatever that was, how he, took out of there and stuff. And, he's real aggressive, rah, 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 that type of dude, so yeah, I think therapy or something gotta help the brother out, because he gonna end up in the same situation with a different woman. And I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell you, next time they're gonna lay him down.
yeah, cause
Yeah,
they don't. You gotta think about it, bro. Florida not about to. If that's the case, then bro, you gotta move your environment because it seemed like, bro, Florida not about to keep bringing you in the courtroom and taking L's, bro.
yeah, oh
They
yeah,
not gonna keep doing that, bro. You see they plastering your name all over the news, bro. They trying to make an example out of your ass. My bad, excuse me, bro.
yeah,
But they trying to make an example out of you, bro.
yeah. I mean,
And
like Marty said, yeah. Go
he
ahead.
should
I'm
know
sorry.
that. My bad. Go ahead. You good, bro?
Yeah. Like Marty was saying, Mike Tyson, they did it to him. Floyd Mayweather, it went to him. And so, who says Tank? I mean, he ain't out of the woods yet. Now, don't get me wrong, he ain't out the woods yet. But after this should be, a wake up call, because this is it's getting too far,
You too comfortable,
and
bro.
next time, it might not go that way, this way. So.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring another point up before I let who this Bud Smoker. Oh, this my man. This my man. Sin Ironheart. Sin Ironheart. Before Sin, I didn't know who that was. Before Sin Ironheart speak, the part where I was talking about um the guy, his homie, the guy that was with him, like at some point, and this is not a knock on Calvin Ford and them guys, but at some point, the older men gotta help this kid,
Mhm.
man.
Yep.
People always say in boxing, You're only as good as your last fight. And I told everybody that on this platform, I don't use that adage because I don't believe in it, and I never did. You're only as good as the team around you. You're only as good as the people around you. As a boxer, as far as the sport to help you develop as a professional, but also outside of the ring. A lot of times when you have genuine people that love you and care about you around you, that's not a hanger on, that's not what to get something from you, or that's there just to ride on the money train. They're the people that hold you accountable the most. And
Yes.
I don't see a lot of people in these fighters' lives that would do that. And I have to speak to that part because as a manager, I've been around a lot of these fighters over the years. And I would be sitting around watching how these fighters, and y'all might not know it because they might be ferocious in the ring or they might be aggressive in interviews, but I'm telling you, these fighters are very genuine people. These fighters, even the fighters that you may not like, they are very, very open hearted and very generous. I promise you that. And that's
Yeah.
why it's easier for them to have somebody walk up to them and say, "Hey, man, I think you can improve on this. Hey, take this supplement over here. And hey, I know a guy that'll help fix that little weight issue you got. Hey, yo, man, they're very trusting. Fighters are. And that comes with women too. And I'll give you an example of Deontay Wilder, and I'll let Sin Ironheart speak. But for example, I did a whole live on this real quick, and the girl Telly Swift, the girl that was the fiance of Deontay, she lied to him at the airport and said she didn't know anything about him. She never knew who he was. And these girls have set these guys up because they see how generous they are. They're open to talk. They're open to be sensitive and vulnerable to him. And I know that might be a trigger point for Tank because I see his behavior patterns. If a girl say something or do something to him and he probably was generous to them, it's a trigger for him. Then he snapped like he do. And I'm not making an excuse for him. I'm just saying a lot of times these girls be playing games and they manipulate these fighters because even though the fighters are ferocious inside the ring and they make it look so easy to punch a man in the head and the body, when they get around certain women, they're soft as pudding. Know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it triggers them because they're so open hearted and generous to everybody. Pat, pay the four. You was trying to say something before, Sin Ironheart.
No,
Oh,
I
I
was
thought you
gonna.
were
No, I'm good, bro. Go ahead.
okay.
Yeah.
Sin Ironheart, you there?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Sin, what's going on? I'm gonna let Lucky come up. Oh, Lucky, come back up, Lucky. If you still here, he was in the background. Come back up, Lucky. Go ahead, Sin. What you got on this, man? Tank Davis, man.
Yeah, man. I want to say first and foremost, there's no way to desensitize or undermine any victims of domestic violence or anybody that may be going through such a battle. But with the Tank Davis situation, I think that his situation is very common amongst celebrities altogether, where it's like they're in a space where they get a lot of entitlement. Somebody that has the amount of money that he's been flirting with for the years, and especially his younger years, without ever having the opportunity to really develop the character to, to really, character that has values outside of money. You know what I'm saying? People that could actually charm a woman and not have to spend, not have to spend or pay to play and stuff like that. I think that Floyd, you know, um, anybody in that type of position is very common to that type of entitled ego, to where when things don't go their way, you see a certain ugliness in their character. And most of us, that's not in that position. We couldn't get women to, like we couldn't just pay hush money to silence women on our deviances the way that those guys have the opportunity to do so. So that caters to the habits and then the yes men who depend on the cash cow. They're not going to correct this guy neither. No matter how much older they are, they're not really going to step up. Then they're not going to step on their own lifeline, their own financial lifeline like that. So I think that where we seen Dana White do what he did to his wife. We seen what Diddy did to Cassie, and the little time that he got for for that particular beating or whatever, and even the charges weren't even relative to that. But I'm just saying the lack of character that certain and the entitlement that celebrities have, and when things don't go their way, you begin to see this type of person show out, and it's just something that it's a much tougher battle when they have matured, when these habits have matured with the fighter or with the celebrity and all of the above. And I just don't think that the common man really has the liberty to invite women to these little freak parties and or all of these different environments where the moral compass is just at an extreme low, and they'll be done wrong and could still be negotiated on their silence. I don't know if anybody has something to add to that, go ahead. But I just feel like, it's very common amongst people in his position.
Yeah. No, I agree. And not even only that, because when he first got released, I think he more of a stubborn individual, and you could kind of tell because even when he first got the probation shit from I keep cussing, man, my bad. Even
No,
when
go
I
ahead, talk, bro. We men. Go ahead,
okay,
talk, bro.
okay, my bad.
We
I ain't
good.
want
We
to.
good. Go ahead, talk, bro. You good?
Okay. So yeah, even when he first got the situation with the hit and run, the judge was on his case like very, very hard. They gave him an opportunity to go and live with Calvin, bro. And he took that opportunity, not wanting to listen, being stubborn again. I guess the house wasn't big enough. He going to stay in a Four-Season hotel knowing that you weren't supposed to be there, bro. And now you got yourself through in jail for 90 days all because you don't want to listen, bro. Can't nobody tell you nothing. So again, even if you got people in your corner that's actually trying to guide you, you're not listening. Eventually, they're gonna be like, "Man, I'm just gonna let him do what he do, cause he ain't gonna listen to me." And if I get him to listen to me, it's an attitude behind it, or he feels some type of way, or his feelings got hurt by what I said to him. That ain't how you supposed to. You can't conduct yourself like that, bro.
Right, right, and it's up to the older guys like myself. I know Marty. He has a son. I have a son, and we have to also reach out to young brothers like Gervonta Davis or whoever that don't have the upbringing, to learn, like my man said, to have that moral compass that's in you, that know how to treat a woman or know know how to move or whatever. Never was taught that, but it doesn't mean that your father has to teach you that. Someone else can teach you that, you
Right.
know. But it's up to the older guys. And I get what you're saying, my man, about how some of these guys, that's their meal ticket. Sometimes you have to step in because your meal ticket gonna be gone one way or the other. It's just a matter of time. So sometimes they might say, "Look here, man, just hold it down," or "Here, man, look, take it in some." Somebody got to be the grown up. Like with Bill Haney, when that happened out there, Bill Haney is the OG. That means that, okay, you should have had all them guys in check. You should have told them guys, "Hey, look, don't put your hands on nobody." I mean, they should have known that by then. But you the oldest one in the pack. And you the oldest one down there on the fucking ground, sitting there, I'm fighting while your son run out the door. So older people gotta be accountable. But you're right, paid in full because these young people don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
They don't listen. That's why Chicago the way it is right now. These guys are getting younger and younger and hard headed. So how you gonna get through from somebody if they don't want to listen?
Right.
You know?
Well, the biggest teacher, and we all of us are men. Lucky McKinnell's is here too. All five of us are grown men, and we know the biggest teacher uh, is the hardest teacher, and that's consequences. And in
Mm-hmm.
Tank
Yep.
Davis's case, he's had a lot of slap on the wrists. And
Mm-hmm.
when you pull his name up and see all the dockets, I've seen it. He's got a lot of dockets in his name from Baltimore to Florida. You know what I mean? This
Mm-hmm.
this kid has they done slapped him on the wrist a lot. They done gave
Mm-hmm.
him chances after violations. I'm not talking about when I say the dockets, there is a docket up where he was being sued by the jeweler, for missing payments for the jewelry. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about more criminal, the criminal stuff,
Right, right,
Right.
right.
He had a lot of slap on the wrist a lot of times. And sometimes when the consequences don't hit you hard enough, you don't discontinue your pattern of behaviors. My mom used to ask me a question because I used to have girl trouble at a time in my life, KQ.
Mm. I can't believe that. Okay, okay, okay.
I used to have girl trouble. And I say girl trouble in the sense that after I got divorced, I was outside. I was outside because I was a house cat for some years. So when I came out, I became I became an alley cat. You know what I mean? So I'm outside and I'm like, this is the single life, right? All right, we outside and it started causing me problems because I didn't know how to turn off that husband and put on the I'm outside, right? So I
Mhm.
was trying to protect myself and not be treating these girls that's not wifey material as a wife. You understand? So
Mhm.
I started getting involved with girls that really wasn't on my level. I'm just trying to have fun. They trying to be in a position to benefit off me. And I said all that to say I was talking to my mom about something, and my mom stopped me in my tracks and asked me a question. She said, Marty, are you going to stop or are you going to slow down? And I'm like, dang, I gotta think about that. So I said all that to say sometimes we might just slow down, like Tank Davis might been slowing down when he get these small little consequences from the court. He'll slow down, but he don't stop. So at
Mhm.
Mhm.
some point he has to stop. And I think therapy and some other resources should should be available to him because he has the resources to pay for it to get help and be there
Mhm.
for him. But the thing about it is you still got to have people in your life to hold you accountable and say, yo, I'm putting my arm around you because I care about you. I can tell you don't do this, but this is the resources that I want to give you. But if, like you said, KQ, if the younger guy don't listen, it's really not too much you can do, but at some point, consequence, a hard one.
Yeah.
Not no 90 days on house arrest with the ankle monitor.
Right.
Nah, we're gonna give you a more harsher consequence so you
Right.
can actually change. You
Yep.
understand? Lucky, you heard everything. What's going on, big dog? How you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I just wanted to say, as the fifth member of the jury, I want to say I vote guilty. That man is guilty. Now, I believe from 2019 to 2026, he's assaulted three women. We don't need a fourth woman to get assaulted for us to say that this guy is a woman beater. Now, he didn't have to put his hands on her for us beating on him. But at the same time, you grab a girl by her hair and he dragging her through the flood, that ain't the right thing to do. And we can't sit here and skip around and act like it is. The man is guilty. And it don't have to be another woman that had to get assaulted for us to understand it.
I agree with what you're saying, bro, but I think we gotta let that situation play out, bro.
I seen the video. That's enough for me.
But that's cool, but it's still a whole process behind that, my dog. That's just like you
I
going to
seen the
court saying,
video, bro. Look, hey,
bro,
bro.
bro, but this this
If you
this like
choose
this,
not to
bro.
see, that's on you. But my eyes
Bro,
show
it
me
ain't
what I
that
seen.
though, bro. It's caught, bro. That's just like
Right.
if you get caught with something, bro. You think we gonna say, "Oh, you going to jail," or we gonna say, "No, let that stuff play out in court, bro." Hopefully that situation works out for the best.
So
Hey, bro,
so
look, we're gonna stick to reality, bro. If you see me on the block 5, 6 times, you don't have to see me out there seventh time to know that I'm out there, bro. You don't.
You missing the point, bro. I get what
I
you're saying,
I, I hear you with the court process, but I don't need the court process when I got it with my own eyes. The man is guilty, bro.
bro. Have you ever
Well,
heard of
guilty
it?
of, see, the thing about it is guilty of what? See, that's the problem. That's why you got to let
Beating
it play
women,
out. Right. Because
beating
he
women.
wasn't beating nobody in the garage like they said. They blew it all out of proportion. Because what I saw, you're going to put your hands on a woman for one. But what I saw, it wasn't nothing like they said it was. Now, yes, yeah, you can say that's assault, but kidnapping, no. And then you spent the night with them the same night. Mm,
No, no, no. See,
I
I'm not
doubt it.
talking about no kidnapping or nothing like that, KQ.
Uh-uh. What you
I'm
talking
just
about?
talking about
Hands
what
on
we
them?
seen on camera. no disrespect to anyone. I don't know if everybody mom is here, but if that was your mother in that situation that you seen on camera,
Oh yeah, of
would you
course
say
not.
it's okay?
No,
No,
we
no, not
already
at all. I
no,
don't
we
think
admit
nobody is
that.
saying it's okay, bro. I don't
Yeah,
think
women,
nobody is
right?
Hey,
We
saying.
admit that. Yeah.
who was that? What's the other guy name that was just talking?
Me, you sitting down
No,
up.
no, not Sin Ironheart.
You
What's the
talking
other
about
guy?
paid?
Paid.
Yeah, paid in full. So I want to know this, bro. If that was your mother, would you be talking about waiting until the court play out, or you
That's
gonna run
not.
up on that guy?
I said I would. I said what I would do if that was my family member.
Okay, so
But
we ain't
that's
gotta
not.
wait for the court date. We know what's up.
Bro, okay, bro, you
It's
got it.
more.
All right,
What you're trying to say is more charges that's pending. That's what he's saying. Not just because he grabbed.
let's clarify. Let's clarify it right now. Are we saying, because everybody know my stance? I said my stance. I'm looking at the tape. But for everybody else, let's compartmentalize it. Are we saying that it depends on the outcome of the case on how we're going to look at the situation, or are we saying what we saw on the video is what we're talking about?
No,
Let's
no. That's the reason why I said that. The reason why I said that, Marty, is because we saw the situation and what happened with Diddy and Cassie. That he didn't get locked up for nothing that they pretty much accused him of. He pretty much got locked up for being a HOE, a pimp, pretty much. But none of the stuff that they said that he actually did, he got locked up for.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. We gotta let the situation play out in court. So no. That's why he say like a picture could say 1,000 words, but I mean a video could say 1,000 words, but like I forgot how that saying go, bro. But anyways, it's like say this not. I don't want to justify what he did or none of that. But for instance, if he get off, how can we say he guilty?
They paid in full.
But one thing about
I
it,
need to know this paid in
I
full.
don't
But
believe
based
putting
on
your
the
hands on a
video, I
woman.
get where y'all coming from.
Yeah.
But it's
How
still
many
a
more
process
women do you
behind that.
need paid in full?
You said what?
How many more women do you need on the list?
That ain't
what
my
what
life.
list?
I don't care. I'm just
Wait,
saying.
what list? What list?
Or the women that been assaulted?
But that's the problem, bro. He never got convicted of that. He never got convicted for
But
that.
Yeah,
we
That's the
know
yeah.
the
problem.
man
That's
done.
my
It don't matter what he been
my
convicted
my
of. We
only
know he done.
discrepancy. My
You
only
can't say that
discrepancy.
though, bro. You
My
can't say
only
that
dis-
if a man you put a jack, regardless of how we see this man, bro. No matter what we say,
Bro, you
he's
seen
never
it at
been
the
convicted of
basketball game.
domestic violence.
You just seen it at the
But he
club.
didn't get convicted of that, bro. You
It
missing
doesn't
my
matter. I
point.
seen it.
hey,
I
my only
If I
discrepancy
see
was
if I
that.
see a nigga shoot a gun, I supposed to believe he's a church member? Stop playing, bro.
That don't make sense, bro. What the fuck?
All
Niggas
right,
shoot guns and go
hey
to
yo,
church all the
Lucky,
time.
Lucky. My only issue with the whole story is that when it was initially presented, I heard that she was thrown down some stairs, that she was stomped out, and it was all sorts of it was high levels of assault. And now we got this, tape with no audio, you know what I'm saying? But still, at least we got the video that did show some aggressive action, but it wasn't presented in the fashion that, old girl initially said that it happened, and her credibility is at stake, So it's not that he's not guilty of anything, but as far as the charges that's being presented, and does anybody know with the date of when this event occurred? When it occurred?
Last
Yeah,
Like
year.
October of 2025.
Yeah.
October of 2025. Okay,
Yeah.
so I would say that's probably pretty fresh. It probably happened. Yeah, it had to happen. Pretty recent or close up to the Jake Paul fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just think that there are certain circumstances that do need to play out because accurate charges do need to do need to be applied.
Well, we do.
To whatever we go ahead.
I'm listening to you. No, finish your point, man. I didn't know you were still
Oh,
talking. I'm listening to you.
oh yeah. I was just saying I think accurate charges need to be applied to exactly what occurred on the tape. Just as with paid in full's example with Diddy, the charges weren't relative to what they were using as evidence to weaponize our emotions towards.
Right.
So You
I
know.
That's
will.
all I'm saying. I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, bro. I'm not saying that. I'm not gonna say he's guilty until he had his day in court. Is what I'm saying. But what the video is showing don't match up to the charges. Is what I'm saying. Dog. Now for assault, I can understand that. Yes, you definitely assaulted her, bro. It shouldn't even went that far to begin with. But again, he still gotta, as every American shit, we all gotta have our day in court, bro, no matter what the situation is. Some niggas get off. Some niggas don't.
I feel you. So you still rocking with him?
Bro, as a fighter, I'm not like no super fan of the man, bro. As a fighter, he cool, but I
I
like him
don't
as a
believe in
man.
hitting on women, 'cause I got daughters, but I still rock with them as a
Yeah.
fighter.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
just a,
I
he's just a
would
fighter in
say
the
as
ring,
far as
bro.
rocking with him, I would say that Harvey dude on TMZ, he was on them islands violating them kids.
Mhm.
True.
I'd be a little bit more. I'm more my target is more on that shit. You know what I'm saying? And not to absolve Tank of anything or say he's immune to that, but I don't like that guy I don't like that motherfuckers like that have the opportunity to weaponize our emotions towards other people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fam, you need to be on a stake. You know what I'm
That
saying? You
hey
need to
hey
be set
hey.
on fire.
Let's not
You
forget
know,
about
so
let's not forget about the hit and run that he did and got out of there on that lady.
Mhm.
That's a
Yeah,
whole nother
he,
incident
was that
involving a woman.
who you talking about,
Yeah,
Tank?
but
yeah,
yeah,
he had
but
a couple of run-ins with the girls. And speaking of women, we do have a woman here. Ty is here with us, aka Jab Queen Boxing. Ty, are you there?
I'm here.
What's your I mean, you hear a lot of people take, you already know where I stand because said a lot of things about where I stood in the video that I published and of course tonight. But what's your perspective on the entire, Tank Davis incident regarding the tape, the charge? I mean, just overall, what's your take on everything?
um, Although I'm a little conflicted because at first, like, like a lot of people on the panel have said, we heard that, he did all this, he kicked her down the stairs, he basically just, mobbed her. So, I can't, convict him of like, unaliving her or anything like that. But the tape was still very damning.
hmm
Gervonta
hmm
St. Davis needs help.
hmm
I don't know any other way to put that. He needs help. He obviously thinks that putting his hands on women in whatever capacity, pulling their hair, like I hear a lot of minimization going on. I'm not sure how comfortable I am with that. I hear a lot of men minimizing it. And although no, he didn't beat her, he didn't punch her, but he did assault her. Like let's call it what it is. He could be our favorite fighter, he could be whatever, whatever, but let's not minimize the fact that he has a problem with putting his hands on women.
Thank you, Jack Queen.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure where that stems from or what. Obviously, most of us are aware of his background, and maybe he has anger issues. Maybe he got whatever going on. But this can really damage his career. It appears that I don't know if he has like some sort of mental issues. He has an anger issue. Whatever the case may be, all of the men with daughters, I want them to look at it from that perspective, right? Instead of running to Gervonta's honor, how about we look at it as if that was your daughter in that video, would you still be minimizing the situation?
I think that's what we basically said tonight. Because nobody is condoning that. Because you don't put your hands on nobody, on daughter or no woman at all. But we just talking about the other things that was added on. We already know. Don't put your hand on no woman. Cause when my oldest daughter got married, I already talked to her husband. I'm not gonna get in y'all business. But only one thing I ask you, not to put your hands on my daughter. Now, see, I'm giving her to you. I'm not giving her just away. I'm giving her to
Mm-hmm.
you, and
Mm-hmm.
I expect you do the same thing and show me respect. And that's how I look at it. But we can't justify him and touching on woman. That's not unacceptable. But the other things, yeah, we can debate about that. You know, uh, um, the women and the scheming and
Oh,
you know,
no,
things.
all of that, I get all
Mm,
that. Like,
mm,
she asking for money and all that. Like, bitch, get out of here. But I just mean the simple fact, like, and I'm not saying that any of y'all were doing that. I'm just mean in general. I feel like the tone is a lot of minimizing of what we saw. And
mm,
no, it's not as bad as what we heard that it was, but it's still like, yo, you cannot just grab her by her hair and make her do whatever you want her to do. Like, what's happening right
exactly,
now? What's going
exactly.
on?
That's that entitlement that I was talking about, and I
Hey,
just think
Yeah.
that I think that for men in general to throw a temper tantrum of any sort is unbecoming.
Yeah, it just tells me that Javante St. Davis is not emotionally mature, nor is he well, he definitely ain't in touch with any type of softer side, and he has children of his own, but he's definitely not emotionally mature because this is not the first time that we've seen him put his hands on a female without hesitation. So, it obviously tells me that he's not in control of his emotions.
hey, Jab
The
Queen.
type of women he selects is one thing. Yes.
Let's speak about how bold the man is. He doing it at a basketball game, and then he go to the club and do it, and right in front of people. That's
Well,
even
that's because
worse.
a lot of people allow him, like his friend walking with him, like none of this was going on right in front of him. So we already know what type of time he on, or he just, whether he condones it or not, he allows it because you didn't do anything to stop him. So it's not just that; it's the people around him that don't
Right.
necessarily
Hey,
stop him from
now,
doing negative things.
now I get the point about the people around him. Now, KQ said you only good as the people around you.
I
But
said that. That was me.
all right, I'm sorry. Now, what about you only good as your leader?
That's what I said. The OGs need to
Well,
take
a lot
and
of
be.
yeah, and that and I agree with KQ or whoever said that because I feel like as close as Calvin and Kenny like to pretend that they are to Devontae, I don't know if they are still that close. And
Right.
it's no disrespect to them, but I just don't feel like they still have his ear like they once did. I feel like Javante may be outside of their reach in some situations
Hey,
because I don't think that Calvin or Kenny, if they were there, would have allowed that. I feel like he purposely surrounds himself with people that have no problem with the things that he do. And I don't know what the reason is for that. I don't know this young man. I am a fan of his fighting style. I like a nigga that'll get in there and really hurt a nigga, not outpoint him. You know what I mean? But I can still separate that from being a human being and looking at the situation. Just like when Mayweather was going through his shit, just like when Tyson was accused of his things. It's like we have to start holding these people accountable. They need help
Hmm.
for whatever reason. They need help.
Now
And I get it.
I don't know what his mother went through because she was a single parent. I do know he witnessed her best friend getting killed right there in front of his face. And maybe I'm not a psychiatrist, so maybe that played a part in looking, growing up in places, where he grew up from. We talked about this earlier, how he wanted to make some changes. Who you have around you, where you go, and who you dating. And you need some therapy. You need some therapy because next time it's not going to be so nice. They probably lay you down for a minute.
Mhm. And
Because,
and
Yeah.
yeah.
and that everybody's making some good points. And here's
Mhm.
the thing. And I spoke to this before. Um, at some point, his choice and selection of these girls that he keeps finding himself in these behavior patterns with that's damaging his reputation, his lifestyle. And I think he have kids with one of them that he had a domestic uh
The first
situation
one.
with, right? Or
The
one or
first one
two
and
of
the
them, I
other
think.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
two of
so
them.
two different girls, and they had domestic issues with him. So, at some point, as a man, we got to decide in our heart, is this where I really want this to go? Because there's trigger points that he's not addressing, and
Hmm.
in that that comes with the consequences. He hasn't dealt with the harsh consequences as someone else. So of course, it's giving him that sense of entitlement, like Ironheart said, where it's like, damn, you know what? I got money. I'm famous. I can get away with this. I can get away with that. And typically, when that happens and it gets too far, unfortunately, somebody ends up in the grave. I'm talking about when a lot of domestic violence environments
Oh yes.
don't get checked on, and it keeps being swept under the rug over and over again,
You
and
know
it,
what?
and all the time it's not the woman.
Right.
So these things happen. It's so commonplace, and I have to say this because people can misinterpret what I'm saying as if I hate Tank Davis or I don't like Tank Davis because I'm holding him accountable, right? But let's be clear. I have no picks. When Floyd Schofield Sr. got caught on tape in his own house,
Hmm.
and I was sent the tape, and I reposted the tape, and then I did a video on it when Floyd Sr. just did an interview with Mill City, and he wasn't holding himself accountable even then.
Mhm.
When he was describing what happened. Oh, my, my girl, she, did this and this and that. This is what I was mad about. And I poked her and I shoved her and I yelled at her. But he didn't say the next pieces that we actually saw in that video. Once again, he started to distance himself from the reality of his behavior. So that means I'm not expecting him to change. But
Mhm.
speaking of expecting to change, if this woman, and I see somebody in the chat that said that this woman texted him and said, "Just give me 50,000." Or people might say, "Well, she's asking for 5 million," and they try to present Tank Davis with an opportunity to pay her or pay the lawyer so that they wouldn't go to the police. But here's the thing: honestly, as adults, what do we expect her to do? And I'm not talking about to defend herself against Tank physically. Her
Mhm.
whole lifestyle revolves around making money. I mean, isn't
Mhm.
that where Tank Davis met her at? Yes.
Right.
So I'm not expecting her to not use this as an opportunity to say, I can get a couple dollars out of him. He was a client from the beginning. I mean, we've been around as men when we've had children or a child by a woman that wasn't in the lifestyle of a stripper, but you make her mad enough, she talking about going to get child support. So it ain't no different. But the thing is, Tank Davis put himself in a position to deal with these type of women where he's involving his emotions. It's one thing if he's just paying to play and then it's like, all right, it's over.
Right.
When the night is over, this environment is over too. But it seems like he's involving his emotions with these girls to a point where they're able to trigger him. Now he's putting his hands on them, he gripping them up, he grabbing them by the hair, and it makes
Yeah.
him look real bad, even if they're manipulating and victimizing him. So
Right.
that's what I'm
And Jamardi,
focusing on. Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, Queen, did you have a point on what he was saying about when Marty, were you about to say about the men getting victimized?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I
No,
was
but
I
I think
was
you was gonna comment on it, weren't you? 'Cause I like to hear.
yeah, so
No,
I
Um
was
I wanted
saying
him to finish. I
oh,
wanted him to
okay.
I was saying this. And this is now what I'm saying doesn't exonerate Tank Davis. But
Mhm.
at the same time, when we look at his reaction, right, it's not just, I just woke up in the morning, I just want to beat on somebody. It's a reaction. So it's a trigger, right? So
Mhm.
in that, a lot of times as men, we are victimized, suffering in silence. When a woman knows how to press a man's button, know all of the things that will trigger this man or make this man react a certain way, right? To influence the behavior. Because, when a woman gets mad enough, we know this, she can hit below the belt, right? And that's not a slight on women. I'm just saying this is the nature of how we are as men and women. And so a lot of women, they poke the man, poke the man, and then when the man react, then it's wait a minute, don't do that. And so, and I'm not saying this is what happened in this situation. I'm just saying that something transpired to make Tank Davis get triggered to go up to her job unannounced, uninvited, stalk this girl, see this girl, and pull her hair. I'm not saying that to exonerate Tank. What I'm really saying is this, that when a man reacts that way, he has to hold himself accountable for being in an environment with a woman that's triggering you like this.
Facts.
Because this is not his first rodeo. This is his third or fourth time where he's not just being accused. Let's just use the two times that I'm talking about tonight. I'm only talking about the two times, and I'm talking about not what happened in court. I'm not a legal representation. I'm talking about what I seen on the tape. Like I've been saying all day, it's the video. See, if I don't have nothing else, if I don't have his court records, if I didn't have his criminal history, if I didn't have his celebrity status, if I didn't know that he was rich or a millionaire, if I don't know any of that, just looking just on the tape alone, I'm dealing with that part. You understand? So
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying is if I can just look at the video, this video and the last one at the basketball game, I can assess this young man needs help with his anger and he also needs intervention because somebody's going to get hurt. And I'm not talking about the girls, it could be
Right.
him one day,
Right.
right? So it's
Yeah.
like, and it needs to happen. The consequence needs to happen now for Tank because he's had a lot of chances now. And so once they got you on video, you can say whatever you want to say, but it's the tape that is more damning than anything else. Jab Queen, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just real quick, right? Like, so this is not the first time that he's been caught on video. And not only even just him being the aggressor, him being the victim too. Like, I don't know if you all saw the video of the he was covered in spit
Yeah.
from one of his baby mothers, and she defecated on his toothbrush. So he definitely does, have a select of women who obviously just are not the best for him. But that
Right.
again
Yeah.
goes to him being emotionally immature and him not selecting the right type of women. Maybe these are the type of women he's attracted to. I don't know what's happening. But what I will say is this: even with these situations, he did show great restraint because I'd have broke her jaw spitting on me. That's just me personally.
Mm.
But he did show restraint in that particular situation. But these other situations where you're grabbing them, you're come on, you're a
Yeah.
man. Even though you are a smaller man, you are a man and you are stronger than these women.
Yep.
Grabbing them by their hair, flinging them around, doing whatever it is that you're doing to them, it's just not acceptable, right? And whatever his triggers are, that's something he needs to work on for himself. You are the face of a sport, which means you have the money, you have the means to go and get yourself some sort of help. If for nothing else, then to work on your triggers, because this eventually is going to start costing you money, time, and then you're going to have to go sit down. How many
Yep.
times do you think that people are going to forgive you? How many times do you think the courts are going to forgive you? How many times do you think the public is going to forgive you for putting your hands on women? You are the face of
Facts.
boxing, a manager, martyr. You say it your best yourself. You got to be somebody that girls want to screw. You got to be somebody that men want to be. Well, guess what? If you are a woman beater, women ain't gonna want your ass no more, and the men follow the women. So guess what's gonna happen after that?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. I don't
So you
disagree
just
with
have to
you.
be conscious of all the things that you're doing. And Chris Rock said it before in a comedy skit. The more money you have, the less shit you can get away with because it's gonna cost you. It cost you the Jake Paul fight, which is why you're suing her for the excess millions that you know this chick ain't got. She ain't
Right.
shaking that much ass. Let's be real. She don't have that money. You're countersuing just because you're upset that she sued you for assaulting her
Well,
or whatever the case is.
he can get future earnings. Every dollar that he make, he can get half for that. Something
Well,
like
she
that.
gonna have to shake that ass till she's 70,
I
KQ.
know. I know.
What are we talking about?
Well,
What are we
don't say
talking about?
hold up, Jack Queen. Let me clear the air because that ain't my scene.
Okay.
But 70, nah, ain't nobody
Well,
paying.
you know,
I don't know
I
nobody.
just, I,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Oh, you might be right, KQ.
no, I'm just saying she's gonna definitely have to, step it up. But overall, I just feel like I don't want us to minimize it. I don't want us to blow it up either. But
Yeah,
I definitely want us to make sure we holding him accountable.
definitely.
Listen,
Yeah,
I love to be more boy, and I understand he's been through a lot. He's
Yeah,
told that
he
story
has.
1,000 times, him sleeping on steps and all of that other stuff. But when you rise to a certain level, you have to start investing in yourself. Whatever
Yep.
mental issues
yeah,
you struggle with, whatever else you got going on, you have to start investing in yourself so these type of situations don't have happen to you. Like, yo, you are the face of the sport, bro. Anything you do is televised. Anything you do is maximized. You think you need to be caught coming out of a strip club?
Yeah.
My
yeah,
boy, you don't got enough money to have these hoes come dance for you at your house?
Exactly.
Like, I
yeah,
The
just
fact
don't.
that he still have holes that he got to pay for is, maybe it's just because of my perspective on that whole. Like I said, I don't believe in paying for something that's free. And when you Tank Davis, it's free anyway.
Oh,
yeah,
Like not even just Tank
yeah.
Davis, like just a regular guy. Like just it's free. But
yeah.
he's Tank Davis. But he's still because that's the lifestyle, that's the environment. The celebrity. Everybody want to go to strip
Right.
Yeah, and
clubs
they're
and
gonna see him. They're
Know
gonna
why
see him as
Floyd
a
built
dollar
one.
sign
Yeah,
anyway. Unfortunately, they're gonna see him as a dollar sign anyway. Whether
yeah.
they're trying to have his baby, whether they're just trying to dance to him, whatever the case may be. So,
Hmm.
as as street savvy as he is, he may not be bedroom savvy. Let's be honest. He may be the power of the PUSSY. What Lil Wayne say? What Lil
It's
Facts.
Wayne
no it's
say?
no power. It's no power in that. It's no power in that.
I can't tell. I can't tell.
No, there's no power in
So
that.
so,
Ain't no
so
power in
you
that.
just go back to where he came from. He just don't know, or he just never been taught. And it's time for him. He's in a different tax bracket now. You got to
mhm,
leave those certain people behind, certain ways behind, and start acting accordingly like a young man should. And
Hmm.
but he
yeah.
might not know how right now, but he will
Well,
learn one way or
He
the
gotta
other.
find. He gotta grow up,
but
bro.
he's gonna learn the hard way because
Yeah.
Yeah,
unfortunately, with him constantly being let off from these charges, it's only going to intensify, right? Like, because he feel like I got away with it the first time, the second time, whatever the case may be,
yep,
and it's like the more people glorify him, the more he's empowered to do whatever it is he's doing. And sometimes I will admit, sometimes it does look like they victimize him, but that's because they know how mentally weak he is. So that's
Yeah.
once again something that
right,
he needs to control on his own. The more you control your
right.
mind, the more you control your midsection, the more power you have. The weaker you are, the more victim you become to other people.
Yep.
You either the prey or the
Yep,
predator. That's it, and that's all.
yep.
She talking some
That
shit.
was yeah. So like what I said, older guys like me, a lot of OGs in the neighborhood. But see, this is the thing, Jag Queen, everybody, these young men just don't want to listen. They think they
Mhm.
have it all solved at the age of 15. Which they don't. So I hate to see them learn the hard way when you don't have to. But if you only got a single parent in the household doing the best she can, making ends meet in a neighborhood that you know it's just a lot of things going on. And but now he's out of that neighborhood, but he still got the
Mhm.
same mentality.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Just
you can
moving
take the
out.
hood out the nigga, but you can't take the nigga out the hood.
Right. That's the same thing I said about Carissa Shields.
Hey,
I mean,
KQ.
she yes, sir.
Hey, look, Tank mom wasn't there like that.
Nope.
No, I
And
know.
and I want to make something clear. Like,
Mm,
his background does make, a difference. But at the same time,
Mhm.
I have the same background as that guy. I'm from Baltimore. My
okay.
mom was a crackhead just like his mother was a crackhead.
Okay.
Our mothers wasn't
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I
So
don't I
what?
don't I don't, I don't act like them.
Okay. So what made
Because you
you
made the choice.
right? What made you make the choice to be that way or the way you are now?
My choice is nobody gonna send me to jail. I'm not going to jail for anything. That's my choice.
Okay.
Some guys they willing to go. I'm not going to jail.
But just by the way you talk, I can tell that you're not mentally weak. That's not affliction that you suffer from. That is an affliction that he suffers from. Couple that with the fact that he's not extremely educated. Couple that with the fact that he spent a lot of time in youth homes. You heard him talking about he was sleeping on the front steps of Coach Calvin's gym. He slept at
Right.
Calvin's job. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Even though y'all have similar backgrounds, it's not exactly the same. You're
Now,
not you're not taken from your poverty. You might be doing well now. I can tell that maybe you've educated yourself and you've
no,
become
no.
in
I
a
mean,
place where you're doing
I,
good now,
I,
but you're not on the world stage where things
no,
are extremely
no.
drastically
I'm
different.
not on the world stage, but I done stayed in crack houses sometimes because my mother left me there
Right,
and stuff
right.
like that. But what I want to say is like when you got a mother that's not there, that's a lot of neglect. And
Oh yeah.
that could be hard on Tank because I know the feeling, but at the same time I move different. When you dealing with a woman that's neglecting you, it's hard for a person like him because he's been neglected by his mother his whole life.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, right? Like, how is your relationship with your mother now? And I don't mean to pry. If I'm being nosy, just say,
No,
Jeremiah, what is it?
it's it's what I let it be, and which is okay.
To me, when I see them interact, him and his mother, and I'm not a psychologist, it looks like he's still searching for affection.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yeah,
maybe
Well,
Yep.
he's looking for that in other women. You know, we don't know.
yeah, and
that's
it's
possible.
like that though.
It's
When you
very
deal with a
possible.
lot of neglect from your mom, you search for it in other women.
And
Yeah, that's
Lucky, can I
true.
say something too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Lucky.
Um,
My boo Lucky. Hey, Lucky.
What's going on, Jad?
hey, we're not having a love connection on my show. Hey, Lucky, the girls ain't come to see you. Ain't nobody
Oh
coming to
my
see you,
God.
Otis. You know
Oh
that's my
my
line. It's like,
God.
I'm playing, Luck. Look. Hey, Jad Queen, you know when the girls show somebody else attention on my show, I be like, whoa, let them know who the leader is. No,
Oh,
but seriously, look, right? But no, in all seriousness, right? So here's the secret. So you see how Lucky said that when a mother neglects uh uh
yes, son.
their son, they look
Mm-hmm.
for that affection in the woman,
Validation.
right? Here's the secret, and no one talks about this, particularly in the black community. Here it is right here. The secret is it's the same thing for the woman.
Uh-huh.
See, when people
Absolutely.
say, "Oh, this woman," let's use the girl that Tank gripped up. Let's use her. Somebody can misjudge this young lady and say she got daddy issues because she work in a gentleman's club, or she's a stripper, or she's this, right? But here's the truth. The truth is that she's also searching. Also, you want to know why? Because when women have that searching for that type of male authority or affection from a man, and it's the same way with a guy. Here's the thing: the mother neglected her. Everybody put emphasis on the father, the father, the father,
Right.
but the truth is the mother neglected her as
Right.
well.
Well,
So people don't
Ben,
talk about that in our community, but it's the truth.
I would have to
No.
disagree because a father is a little girl's first love and vice versa. So I wouldn't say that because I mean she may have, you know, but that just screams to me that she would be looking for like some old chick to bow down to. But when your father neglects you, you don't really know what love looks like from a man. So you'll accept any type of love or any type of attention that you think you can get. I think it is very crucial. And a lot of people think like, oh, if a little girl has her mother, then she'll be all right. No. To me, if she has her father, then she'll know how to navigate through this world because your daddy gonna tell you when a nigga ain't ish. Your
But here's the
daddy gonna
thing,
put
though,
you on
Jad.
They
game.
ain't
Here-
lying. The dead
Here's
ain't
the
gonna lie.
here's the thing, and there's a little truth to that. But here's the thing: you said, excuse me, you said that the father is the daughter's first love. Said
Absolutely.
you
Yes.
said right?
Absolutely.
But here's the reality of it: the mother is every child's first teacher.
True.
Okay,
Right.
so in other words, is even if the woman says, "My dad was my first love," your mother's supposed to teach you what love is. Your
Only
mother's
if she
supposed to
knows.
teach you,
Only if
but
she knows though,
there
Manager
you go.
Martin.
So if she doesn't know, she's neglectful by default.
But
So
how would
even
she know from a
she had
man?
no. Here's the thing. Oh, just like a man can only teach a boy how to be a man, a
Right.
responsible man, a strong man, right? It's
If
the
he's one,
same.
yes.
Hmm?
If he's one, yes.
Yeah.
It's the same concept for the woman. What I'm saying is this: in the black community, we've made it acceptable to automatically say, well, it's the father's responsibility to raise a boy to be a man, and it's also a father's responsibility to raise a girl to be a woman. No, 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 no. It's the mother's
No, I don't
responsibility.
believe in that.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm just saying we made it acceptable as in a culture in our culture. It's the mother's responsibility to teach this little girl how to navigate through life, be responsible, be respectful, be humble, and understand what love looks like. Because you learn it first from mom. So in Lucky's case, when you talk about his mom and Tank, if the mom is not there, that in itself is traumatic. I always ask this question. Let's say the
Mhm.
father isn't there. Always ask this question, right? And that's why both parents or it's a privilege to have both parents because that's how it's supposed to be in
Absolutely.
life, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
So because the father provides one responsibility and the mother provides the other, and then you put them together, right? But here's the thing: I don't know what's worse. Now I say that, but I actually do know what's worse: a father being absent or a
Hmm.
present mother being toxic. If there's a toxic mother in a child's life every day, that's worse than a father not being there at all. So, but why? Because the first love and first teachings come from mom. So, what I'm saying is this: if a little girl don't know what love is, if a little girl don't have the confidence that she need, or let's say she lacks self confidence, or she has low self esteem, or she feels insecure about things, that's not because her dad didn't say or do something. Because here's the natural thing about it: when that little girl keeps growing up from a little girl to a teenager to a teenager to a young adult to a young adult to a full grown woman, she's always going to get attention from a boy. That's just natural.
Right.
But she's supposed to learn how to navigate through it from mom.
Right.
And
You
that's
know
the
what?
reality of it.
Man, Jamarty, you know what? I can semi agree with that because see, I will say this, right? Like if you got a toxic mother, that means she dealt with niggas that wasn't ish, or she felt like wasn't ish. So she's only gonna give it to you from her perspective. I feel like I agree when you say both parents are needed so they can balance you out, right? Because your daddy can tell you, "Listen, your mama was a piece of work. That's why I may have left or I ain't stay around or whatever the case may be, but I'm still gonna give you some game because if a Negro say this to you, but he looking at this or he doing this what he really mean. Like so, and I'm gonna speak from just personal experience. My mother and my father split when I was young, but my
Mhm.
mother had five brothers, and I always had my daddy. Yeah, I still got my daddy. I call my daddy to this day. Daddy, my tires, go get them rotated, go do something. It's making a funny noise. Go do something. I don't know. But when my mother was at work, I would go to my uncles, and they would go to see their women or whatever they would do. And my uncle, my favorite uncles, would be like, "Ty, listen, I'm about to tell her this, but this is what I really mean." Or I'm about to go over here, but listen, we going over here after that. Like I would get both sides of the guy. I would see my mother working hard, and I would see her doing this. And I was good. I would see my uncles playing around, doing what they got to do. I would see my daddy doing what he had to do. But I had both sides of the spectrum, male and female. So I kind of understood what it really was like from both angles. If you only have one, you kind of like you out here operating half full. You can have a really strong mother, which I did. God rest my mother's soul. But it's like if I didn't have my daddies and my uncles, I would still be missing some part of the game.
Right, but what I'm saying is the first person that's supposed to teach you that is your mom, only because when your dad tell you the game, when your uncle tell you the game, or when a man tells the female the game, it's from the male's perspective. You're not supposed to respond like the male. You're just supposed to get the game. But a lot of times when a woman or female get the game from the male, and that's the dominant force of that
Hey,
male
Blue
giving
Hustle,
the
baby, how you doing?
oh,
Hmm.
when the male is the primary source of the information, the woman don't respond like a woman. She responds like a male in certain environments because the
Right.
But
perspective that you got was from the male. Yeah, you're supposed to get the game from dad and all that, and that's cool. But what it is dad gave you gave you the game of perspective from the perspective of a man. But a lot of times the women get the game and they respond like the man. That's why you got to learn it from mom first. You see
Like
my point?
yeah,
But
like I
I
always tell my
agree with
son.
you, but that ain't always true. Because look at Clarissa.
Huh?
I
I
was,
She
couldn't
didn't
hear
have
you.
her mother. She didn't have her mother,
oh,
and she
sorry.
out here thinking she can challenge men. She think that she out here acting like she is a man. She thinking she can
You said
challenge.
Clarissa. Wait, say that again. Clarissa did what?
Look at how her behavior is, and she didn't have
Yeah,
her.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. That's
right.
that's the point that I'm making. She didn't have her mother, and that's why she responds.
Either though.
Huh?
She didn't have her father either though. Her father
Right,
was in
but
jail.
but right, but what I'm saying is the reason why she responds the way she does is because her mother failed her in that area. And what I mean by that is
Mm.
So
meaning that
grandma trying to be mama now.
right.
I see what you're saying. I see what
See
you're
here,
saying. Okay, okay,
we
I get
make
it.
it acceptable in our community for mom to be the patriarch instead of the woman teaching the daughter how to humble herself in the presence of male authority and be modest.
Right.
See,
Right.
we lost that in the community. So
Right.
now
Ain't no
what
more big
happens
mama.
is, yeah. So now what happens is the woman says, "I'm the leader now. I control everything." And this women's supposed to stand up. And if you look at it, and this is no knock on the women that have sacrificed and our mothers and all of that, but we got to keep it real. If you look at households that's ran and led by women, you're going to see more chaos erupt in the life of a child.
Right.
And there's a reason
I
for
agree
that.
with that.
There's a reason for that because it's not a woman's responsibility to raise the child on her own. And so in that, that child is being neglected because mom is supposed to be the first teacher. So if a
Right.
girl don't know how to humble herself and be kind and be modest, we can say, "Well, she got daddy issues and she's so promiscuous. She jumped from this guy to that guy." Well, time out for a minute. If her dad wasn't there, who she learned that from?
Right.
Right.
If her
But I
dad
feel
was
like she's
not
making
there,
her
who did she learn that from?
a
And that
mother who didn't
mean,
have a father. That's
huh?
how I feel. A
Huh?
mother who didn't have a father.
Right. But see, that's the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is some of the women in our community, even from back in the day, didn't have a
Mhm.
father, not because the father got
Right.
up and said, "I'm done with the family." No, the women said, "Get out. You can
Mm.
leave. I don't
Mm.
need you when I have a big machine behind me that's going to pay me
Welfare.
to yeah, well, I
Welfare.
got the welfare system. Yeah, I have that. So I don't need your resources. And if you come against what I got going on for our kids here, I'm going to come get child support from you. In other words, is
But
the
that
woman wanted to establish control instead of humbling themselves. And
but
that's
that's
what
not
I'm
that's not
talking
true.
about. Huh?
But that's a whole nother story because that's not really true. The government told black women that they can't have a man in their house if they
When?
wanted welfare.
Oh, yes, they
What?
did. Wait, 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 whoa. They did say that because remember, it wasn't for women to be on their own, right?
I
When
know
I
that. That's
say
what I'm
it, I'm
saying.
not talking about welfare. I'm talking about the family structure. The
Right.
family structure
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
this,
I agree
right,
with that. Yeah.
right, right. So what I'm saying is the government was supposed to say that. Of course, if you have a man that's taking care of you, you don't need the resources. We can give these resources to somebody else. Your
Right.
situation is you have a man that's there taking care of you and your children. So you don't need the resources from us. So in that, now there's a decision that has to be made. Do you keep the father around the kids or so that you don't need the welfare? Or do you say, "You know what? I'm going to try my hand in something else without him for whatever reason. And I'm going to choose the welfare over him." Because if you look at it, even if we say that didn't happen for the past 70 years in the black community, that's the actions that have been taken. And if somebody say, "Well, that's not true," well, then show me how many marriages happen. Because in our community, 80% of babies are born out of wedlock. And so what I'm saying, all that to say is not to criticize, but what we got to keep it real at is we have to hold mom accountable. In our community, we're not taught to do that. we're taught to automatically assume the father made a decision not to be there. And I'm just saying, in Tank Davis's case, even in the girl's case that's working in that environment, their mothers had a hand in creating an environment for them to feel neglected, and especially that woman. Tank, in his case, a man's supposed to teach a boy how to be a man. But in her case, in order to be a woman, a man cannot teach a woman. A man can't teach a girl how to be a woman, no matter how much game he give her. That's just the realities of it. It's the
Right.
mother's responsibility to do that.
It definitely is the mother's responsibility to do that, but I feel both parents are needed in order to have a well balanced child.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
Because
yeah.
a
I
woman
mean yeah, of course.
she
Of
could
course.
be
Yeah.
a pretty little flower all she wants to, but if a nigga just constantly spitting game to her and she unlocking that lock, then what good is she? If she don't got the game.
Father teaching the son how to get it, and the mama teaching the woman how to keep it. You know.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but in order to teach her how to keep it, she gotta know how to keep it.
You're right.
And she gotta
Right.
learn that from somewhere.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, both parents. No, I mean,
Both parents are
yeah.
definitely needed, and
Right.
that starts. And guess what? That starts with the parents. That don't
Hmm.
start with no government. That don't start with this
Right.
society say this a cultural norm. It starts with the parents. And here's the thing: we have made some poor decisions as parents because we weren't married first. So now we trying to
Yeah.
figure it out in a broken
Yep.
situation, and that's
Yep.
what caused the chaos moving forward. Now we've been doing
Yep.
better in our community, trying to stick together and be a cohesive unit as co-parents living in different households and with different relationships going on. But at the end of the day,
Right.
we didn't lay the foundation properly from the beginning to create an environment to raise these children in. And so in that's where it starts at there. I mean, I know it's easy for us to blame the government and say, well, they told us this. But wait a minute, the government can't tell you nothing when you got a husband and wife. Government don't come into that. In fact, husbands and wives, and I know a lot of married people today, they can go get welfare with no problem. So it's just the
Well, they
fact that we have
shouldn't.
to. No, but that's the law. They can get it as long as they meet the income guidelines and the family size. That's just what it is. But I'm just saying that we didn't put ourselves in a position in the beginning. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about us as parents. Us as parents. So that we don't have to deal with, let's say, child support or the welfare or somebody dictating the terms of this, or Tank Davis got to sleep on the steps, or Lucky
Well,
had brought
she was on
his situation
drugs, so
right. But I'm just saying, but that's what Lucky's saying. Lucky's that's what Lucky's saying is
oh
mom
no,
got to be held accountable in that,
yeah, for
because it
sure.
affect the lives it affect the lives of grown men. You
Uh-huh.
understand? They got to navigate through life. And watch this. Most men who have been neglected by their mothers, they have issues with toxic women. And when I say issues, I mean they can be easily manipulated by toxic women. They stay in relationships longer with toxic women. They don't realize they're in this web of dysfunction until sometimes it's too late with toxic women. Not only that, but they're so generous to a woman. Now they become the nice guy. And we all know that women don't respect weak men or nice guys. And I'm not saying that the way that those type of men react is right if they grab them or cuss at them or yell at them. I'm just saying that's the foundation that some of our men are involved in with these dysfunctional women. Why? Because their mothers failed them and mothers failed the men. So it starts at home with mom, you know,
See, Marty,
unfortunately.
that's why you got grandmamas at the age now in their 30s or
Yeah,
20s.
grandma
You know,
32
yeah,
now.
right.
Grandma 32.
I don't
Yeah.
know how comfortable I am with y'all blaming women for all of these
I
problems.
know you're not
I'm just gonna
comfortable,
be
but you
honest.
brought it up.
I'm definitely not comfortable with that.
Oh,
No,
oh, oh, oh.
You
because
brought it up.
No, women
the
ain't.
fact of the
No,
matter
women
is, the
ain't
fact of
got
the
the
matter is,
blame.
Hold up,
y'all running
Jab.
around here
Let
acting like
KQ
men have
let
no.
Jab. Hold on.
In a
Let
minute,
KQ
in a minute, y'all
Jab.
act
Jab.
like
Jab.
men
Jab.
have nothing to do with
Jab.
raising a
Don't
child. Like
Jab.
it's
Jab.
okay for y'all to
Don't
just
take it
hump
personal.
and dump.
No,
No,
I
no,
ain't
no,
taking
Jab.
a
We
damn
with
thing
you. Hold on,
personal.
Jab. Jab. Don't take it.
I
no,
Jab.
ain't
no,
Don't take
taking
it.
yeah,
nothing personal. I'm
yeah,
good.
yeah.
All right.
But
Hold on, Jab.
no,
Let KQ finish
no,
though.
no.
Go ahead,
Both
K.
parents are equally responsible. No matter if she's your kid's a boy or a girl. Both parents has a duty. both parents have the responsibility to teach them this or teach them that, because the father can't teach a girl about lady things. Only the mama can teach them about the lady things, and things to deal with the woman. But a man also can teach a woman what type of man to not to deal with, or not to see. They all got a role to play. Both women and men. Now the woman, yes, sometimes it works out that way, where the man usually don't take up and responsibilities like he should, like Deontay Wilder, what he was talking about in his interview, and that was a good interview too. Anyway, but now mama got to take on the role. Now I know some mamas have done a great job with kids, more than three in a household, more than four in a household, but they all did well. But it's up to the men to be more responsible today, and to pretty much be a father to their kids, and get involved in their lives. It all stems from a baby on up, and they both got to play a part in raising them kids. So
You're
or
totally correct,
yeah,
KQ. That's why I said the best environment for kids is to have both parents,
right.
and I think we all agree, we all agreed on that. And I want to say this uh to you, Ty. It's not a personal attack on you, and you said you didn't take it personal, so that's great. But what it is we have to put the emphasis on the fact that women control the sexual environment. Women control the sexual environment. If
Uh,
if 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 the woman is not in control of the sexual environment, then we're talking about deviant, assault and rape and all of those things. But
uh,
the woman decides who she's going to,
have a
sleep with. And if
right,
a
have
man
a
said, and
child
if,
with, yeah.
yeah, and have that child with, I mean, ultimately, so what I mean by the foundation, I'm not saying I'm dismissing the fact that men have a responsibility of raising the child. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is everything starts and ends with mom. And I say start is the whole environment. I mean, if a woman is not in control of the environment of the sexual conduct or sexual activity, then that means that's something different. That means she's being forced or she's against her will. But if she willingly participates by saying, "Hey, tonight is the night," like, "Hey, this is when," a woman knows, and so the woman controls it. She controls the sex. She controls who she dates. It's her decision. If she gets pregnant, of course, now we got to deal with the man. The man we had a hand in that because you can't get pregnant by yourself. But even in that, the woman still have a decision to make whether she want to keep it or abort it, or and I'm not
Right, right,
promoting either. I'm just using it as an example of these are the realities of that woman. And if she decides to keep that child, then now she got to deal with the man. Now she can say, well, he ain't this and he ain't that and he no good and all this, and all of that might be true, but it falls back on mom at the end because this is who you decided as a woman to lay down with, give your body to, and then decide to have a child with. So, yeah, the man has a role to play, and that's, and I'm all for that. Everybody knows that.
mhm,
But at the end of the day, when we look at where it start and where it end, Mom. Mom is the first teacher. Mom carried that baby in her stomach for 9 months and build a bond with that baby. When that baby comes out of the womb of the mother, the father has to start and make that bond and that connection from there. Yes, the baby will learn the voice patterns of the father as much as he's around to talk to the baby, while the baby's in the mom's stomach. But ultimately, he has to start from scratch to build a connection with that child when that child is born. Whereas though the mom, she has an instant connection. That child is feeding off of everything she put in her body. And so when the child comes out, mothers have the biggest influence over their children. No matter what mom say or do, the kid is going to always have the influence of mom until, a lot of traumatic things occur and a lot of things happen to break that. But it's very difficult to break the influence of a mother, even when she has caused some trauma in the lives of a child. That's how uh, serious a mother's role is. And so I don't want to get this conversation lost in translation as if I'm dismissing the dad's responsibility. But what I'm putting more emphasis on is the responsibility of the mother, because in our culture, in our community here in America, and I say our meaning the Black community in America, we put mom on a pedestal and we blame dad for everything. That's a cultural thing. I'm talking about overall. I'm not saying you, me, or anybody on the panel or anybody watching this broadcast. I'm saying culturally speaking, we have been taught to give mom all of the promotion, all of the praise, no matter what decisions that she made that may have been a negative impact on us, or no matter what mistakes she made. But when it come to dad, he don't get the same treatment, and that's okay. That's no, it's not a competition. We're here to do a job together as parents. So I'm just saying it starts and it ends with mom. So if a girl don't have certain tools to navigate as a responsible woman. And one of those tools is humility, which is what makes it harder for women to hold themselves accountable, right? It's about humility and being modest, especially in the presence of men. And if she don't know that or have those tools, that means that her mother did not provide her with those tools. So I just wanted to put that out there because we were talking about Tank Davis. I wanted to bring it right back around to the point that Lucky was making about Tank Davis and the fact that you brought it up, Ty, that he was sleeping on, the steps, and then he was sleeping at Calvin's for his job. His mother was neglectful of him and his father, but his mother was the primary caretaker. So that's why the emphasis was more on her as the primary caretaker. And I wasn't dismissing Tank's dad or even Lucky's dad. I'm just saying in general, because when a mother neglects her child, let's say her son, it has devastating impact on how he moves with girls and women, you know?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Well, we've been here live 3 hours and 11 minutes. I didn't expect to be this long, but hey, this is what it's all about. And I'm glad that we all were able to communicate and we all have different perspectives. Um, Tank Davis has a court case coming up in a few months, I think. So, however that plays out, it doesn't negate the fact that what we saw in the video was distasteful. Everybody agreed on that he was wrong for that. Everybody agreed on that. Another thing that we can agree on is that Tank is a very talented fighter. He's the face
Correct.
of boxing. And we also agreed that Tank Davis definitely need intervention. There's no
Yes.
question about
Most
that.
definitely.
He
Yes.
definitely needs support emotionally, mentally. He definitely needs that. And I think if he don't get it, irregardless of the outcome of the court case or the civil suit, if he don't get that, he's going to be in a worse position than he ever has been in his life moving forward. And I think that that's how we can sum this up. But I will give everybody their last 30 so we can close us out. I'll start with you first, Jab Queen. Give us your last 30 seconds. What you got for us?
Mm,
I think there were a lot of great points spoken tonight. Um, the only issue that I have is, as much as the sentiment is that women are, the bearers of children, the raisers of children, and are very important to how adult children move in this world. Why are Black women so disrespected? But that's neither here nor there, I guess. Gervonta St. Davis definitely needs help. He needs to invest in himself, in his mental. And with that, he'll see, his career go a little further. But
yeah.
that's all I have for the panel.
Okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your support always, Jab.
Always,
Thank you for coming
always,
through. Appreciate your perspective
absolutely.
as a woman and just supporting boxing. Appreciate it. You was
Love
definitely
it.
air frying tonight. All right, who we got? KQ, you there?
Yes, sir.
All right, KQ, man. You know you my guy, man. I always appreciate you showing me love, man, on your channel, first of all. Then when
Yes,
you
sir.
come over here, you show your support in a way that I really appreciate. And I want to tell you that to your face. A
Yes,
lot of
sir.
content creators come over and they don't show themselves in the chat. So I don't know if they're here or not. But you make it your business to
Oh
put
yeah.
your name in that live chat. And I want to tell you, I respect you for that, bro, and I appreciate it. And also, you don't have pride where if you learn something from me,
Oh
you
yeah.
don't have the pride to act like you created something or you thought of it on your own. You say, shout out to manager Marty. Matter of fact, you was on KQ's channel on Sunday. I didn't hear the whole piece, but
Uh,
when I clicked on, you was talking about how I had told Keith Thurman how to chop the tree down. I
Right,
had
right.
heard
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah, yeah. We was
shout me
talking about
out.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to give you the same shout out and love back publicly. Thank you for shouting me out, and I appreciate your support always, man. Good,
Oh
you're a
yeah.
good guy, and you always stay consistent with who you are. I love your show. If y'all listening, go subscribe to KQKC. The man has good quality content. He's not a paid channel like some other counterparts that we have, and he stick to the script. Much love and respect for you, KQ, man. Thank you for showing me support, man. 30
Man,
seconds. What you got for us?
no problem. No, basically, listen. Uh, we're all responsible for our actions, and we have to take accountability. What we have done, and yeah, I hope Tank said, yeah, I did grab her, but that's it. So hopefully everything play out in his favor. But still, in all, I say again, no man should put their hands on a woman. I heard someone said this on a live stream. I don't know. I wasn't there, but that what if she had a wig on? Then do that count? Yes, that counts. I mean, what kind of question is that? I mean, I don't know who live it was, but somebody told me about it. I'm like, what? So, but besides that, you're gonna have to have a different circle of friends if you don't have a real true friend that say, hey, look here, man, you can't drive drinking, you can't drive drunk or something, anything. But y'all gonna have to speak up, or they gonna have to speak up. And the older guy, Calvin and Kenny, I think Tank said this once before. They getting used to that money and it's going to their head. Now I didn't that's not my words. That was Tank words. And maybe so or maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I don't have nothing against Calvin or Kenny. I interviewed Kenny. Good guy. Good both of them good guys. But still in all, you gotta tell Gervonta Davis, listen, man, you got money, you got your freedom, but you're about to lose your freedom. You're about to lose your freedom if you don't get it together. So, but let's see how it play out. And how it play out is meant to be. I really believe that. So that's all I have, man.
Man, I appreciate you, KQ, man. Salute to you. Thank you for that.
Yes, sir.
Lucky, you still there, big dog?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Man, I appreciate you, Luck, man. I don't know if I ever asked you to close, but I'm gonna ask you to do it tonight. If you it's up to you. I ain't gonna force nobody, but I would like for you to give us the last 30. But before you do, first of all, would you like to do that?
No, I'm cool. I'm cool with it. That's
Are
fine.
you cool with
I
that,
got
bro?
something quick to say.
Hold
Um,
on, Luck. Hold on. Yeah. Every time somebody jump off the stream,
yeah,
it yeah, I can't hear the other person. I was asking you, are you cool with that? Give
yeah,
me
yeah. I'm cool.
all right. So I'll say this. I appreciate you supporting the channel, bro. Always. Thank you for coming up on a panel, giving your perspective. But also I wanted to highlight that you had the courage to express to thousands of people that's probably watching this now or going to watch the replay of the live, and everybody that was on the panel and that was here live, a sensitive topic, which is your personal life, your mother. That's
Yeah,
you know uh it takes a certain amount of courage for a man or a woman, but more so a man, to speak about his mother and whether his mother was right or wrong, just to speak publicly about mom. You know what I'm saying? That took a lot of courage, and you didn't have to do that. So I appreciate you sharing that perspective because you might be helping somebody else who might have to rekindle a fellowship or relationship with their mom, or still might be hurting from neglect from their mother. Not even a
Yeah,
man; it could be a woman.
yeah,
So a lot of times, that's why when I do my shows, yeah, it's easy for me to stick to boxing, but because I'm so experienced on so many different things as far as life, sometimes it gives me triggers of a memory that will tie into boxing, and I find
mm,
myself talking about something relative to a topic, but I'm giving a life principle, or I'm helping people understand a point, or I use an illustration. That's just how I am. And I don't want to take away from the boxing, but at the same time, when people come on this platform, you get it all. And that's what make it unique. And so I appreciate you, expressing that about your mother, you know what I'm saying? And
mm,
how you was honest enough when Jab Queen asked you about your relationship with your mom, and it was a very, very perfect answer that you gave, man.
yeah,
And also the fact that you stood 10 toes down on your point about Tank, which is the same point I had, and everybody was respectful even though we disagreed. So I said all that to say I appreciate everybody coming out. I appreciate all the panelists that clicked the link. And I appreciate everybody sticking around for 3 hours with me. I haven't done this in a while, and you'll see more of this as time permits it. And also, I got to give a plug. I got to put a plug in. I got to put a plug in. Real quick, quick plug. Me and Dion, we starting to bounce around certain topics. And I'm opening the panel again, right? So it's not just I'm shutting everybody else out. When I have the link in the chat, everybody can come on. It's all good. But there's certain videos I'm gonna start doing with me and Dion. Some people know who she is, some people don't. But me and Dion bouncing around a couple of topics, and I'll start recording with her and just little stuff, just to get a lot of different perspectives on the channel. And so so keep on the lookout for that. Y'all know my slogan. I'm doing way too much talking. Don't take my word for it. Lucky, roll the tape.
hey, I just want to say it's gonna take Tank to change. It's gonna take for him to have self control. And I know a lot of people are saying, Calvin, 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 but at the end of the day, Tank had some close friends of his that passed a few years ago, which is unfortunate. And I feel like those are the guys that he looked up to. And those are the guys that could have helped him change. And those guys are no longer here. So right now, it's going to take Tank to change. No one else can really help him but himself. And that's that. Y'all have a good night.